This old man is really something. I really misjudged him before. I get it now. It's because I wanted to treat Luo Yao so well that I ended up overthinking everything. What she's always needed wasn't my cautiousness, but for me to release my love for her freely and boldly. It felt like he had grasped something important, or perhaps his way of thinking had suddenly ascended to a new level. So that's how it is. Old man, I'm starting to think you're really something. Uncle Fu smiled. It wasn't that he understood more, but as an onlooker, he saw things more clearly. Young Master Lin, your overwhelming desire to love the young miss isn't a bad thing. I'm truly gratified that you made the right choice in the end. Lin Ran fell silent. Was it the right choice? No, he hadn't made a choice at all. It's not that I chose to love her, but that my heart doesn't allow me not to love her. This is how I truly feel. I love being clingy with Yao Yao. I love every cell in her body. I love the way she looks when she loves me, and I also love the feeling of loving her. Only by loving her can I be happy. Only by loving her can I live. Stop, don't say any more. This old man can't handle such mushy words. You should be saying these things to the young miss. Uncle Fu had already been subjected to many of Lin Ran and Luo Yao's public displays of affection, but facing Lin Ran's current stream of cheesy declarations of love still made the hairs on his arms stand up. Lin Ran lay back down on the chair, looking at the stars. The city lights of Modu were a bit bright, making the stars seem dim, but Lin Ran could still see those distant specks through the night glow. So, the night sky really was this beautiful. Even if the stars weren't very bright, it was still beautiful. I will go and tell her. The rest of my life belongs only to her. At this very moment, a figure standing before the French windows inside the villa let a single tear silently escape. So, Aaron really loves me this much. Did Luo Yao know she was an extremely possessive woman? Of course she did. But this possessiveness was directed only at Lin Ran. Towards everything else, she could even be said to have no interest at all. She had no interest in money, but Lin Ran liked it. So she worked hard to earn it, even going so far as to eliminate the entire Luo family to climb to the top. Luo Yao's success today was inseparable from Lin Ran's past words. She earned money to gain his affection, because Lin Ran had once said that when she grew up, she should give him half the money she earned. And Luo Yao herself had said, "It's all yours." She had no interest in the position of family head, but to survive and to have Lin Ran, she had to reach this position. She had been living for Lin Ran her entire life. Therefore, this possessiveness she had over Lin Ran was well-founded and had its roots. But when she finally stood before Lin Ran, the man had actually rejected her, which Luo Yao found unacceptable. That was why she wanted to lock him up, possess him, even abuse him. Later, Lin Ran truly changed for the better. During this time, Luo Yao had countless dreams where the improved Lin Ran would suddenly tear off his mask and say, "I was just pretending." This was her greatest fear. Now, she had finally confirmed it. Her Aaron had truly changed for the better, truly loved her, and wouldn't change back. At this thought, Luo Yao let her tears flow. Lowering her head, she saw her tears drip onto the floor, and she smiled, a very beautiful and radiant smile. If Lin Ran were to turn around at this moment, he would surely see a beautiful scene of "you smiled at me through your tears," the most moving picture in the world, one that no master could ever paint. Luo Yao didn't disturb the people outside, quietly leaving and returning to the bedroom. She was truly happy, truly glad, a joy that emanated from within. Meanwhile, the old man and the young man outside the villa had no idea that Luo Yao had just been there. Lin Ran suddenly looked up at Uncle Fu. "I've been doing all the talking. You still haven't told me why you were sighing." Uncle Fu closed his eyes, indicating he didn't want to talk. Lin Ran's eyes darted, and he took out his phone. "I'll show you something good." When Uncle Fu saw the photos Lin Ran sent to his phone, photos of him and Jiang Feihua, Uncle Fu lost his composure. "Young Master Lin, why would you do this? These photos are taken completely out of context. It was a perfectly normal conversation. Why does it look so ambiguous in your camera?" Lin Ran was smug. It wasn't often he got to see Uncle Fu flustered. "I just took them casually." "What are you so nervous about, Uncle Fu? Are you scared?" Uncle Fu immediately lowered his voice and growled. "This isn't just a casual snapshot. What on earth are you trying to do?" "Me? This time, I want to know why you were sighing." Uncle Fu froze, then asked uncertainly, "You mean this time? Does that mean you'll use these photos to threaten me often in the future?" Lin Ran put on a look that was both self-righteous and deeply sorrowful. "I feel very guilty, you know. I've known Ani Wong for so many years, yet I have this evidence in my hands and haven't told her. Can you imagine how tormented I feel inside? Lin Ran wiped away non-existent tears, acting as if he were genuinely heartbroken. But if you look closely, he was actually smiling. I'm carrying all this guilt, and I can't even get to hear a little story. Do you think that's right? Seeing the corner of Uncle Fu's mouth twitch, Lin Ran felt a wave of accomplishment. He delivered the final blow. After all, you wouldn't want the person you love to see what I have in my hands, would you? Uncle Fu's face darkened. He admitted he had underestimated Lin Ran, underestimated his cunning. He immediately put on a fawning smile. What was I thinking? It's just a small request. Of course. Compromise often happens in an instant. Lin Ran had completely grasped Uncle Fu's weakness. The reason I'm out here in the middle of the night is that I was thinking about Dahua. When I think about all the hardships she's endured over the years, my heart just aches for no reason. I feel for her. Is that all? Lin Ran held up his phone. Well, the photos I have aren't limited to just these. Uncle Fu grew anxious. Don't. Young Master Lin, when did you learn to threaten people? I just said you'd changed. You're not going to change in terms of character too, are you? Whether I change or not depends on whether you're telling the truth, doesn't it? Uncle Fu sighed in resignation, knowing he couldn't fool Lin Ran. All right, I'll talk. The truth is, I'm afraid to propose to Dahua because I'm scared she'll reject me. This time, it was Lin Ran's turn to be dumbfounded. Oh my God, it's true that those involved can't see clearly. You were just lecturing me a moment ago, and here you are, stuck in your own confusion. Let me ask you, even if Ani Wang rejects you, what do you lose? Uncle Fu thought for a moment. Maybe. My pride. Lin Ran rolled his eyes dramatically. In matters of love, pride for a man is like a smelly shoe insole. Besides pride, do you lose anything else? No, nothing else. Lin Ran raised his voice, unafraid of waking the sleeping Luo Yao in the villa because the soundproofing there was top-notch. Then what the hell are you afraid of? Be brave. Maybe Ani Wang will say yes. Even if she doesn't, at least you were brave for once. At your age, you can't possibly lack this little bit of courage, can you? You have to remember how much Ani Wang sacrificed for you back then. Compared to her courage, you're a real coward when it comes to love. A coward in love. Uncle Fu was stunned, mulling over the phrase. Finally, he had an epiphany. Right, what was the point of overthinking so much? Just do it. Young Master Lin, I have to say, you've really untied the knot in my heart. Thank you. Indeed, the saying those involved can't see clearly also applied to Uncle Fu. Lin Ran, thank me? Just make sure Yao Yao's birthday is arranged according to my requests, and that will be thanks enough. I still need to prepare a very special gift for her. Uncle Fu made an okay gesture. He felt like he was being infected by Lin Ran's attitude. The old man and the young man had untied each other's knots, and from then on, two of the world's relationships became even purer. Lin Ran returned to the bedroom. Seeing Luo Yao still lying in bed, he quietly slipped in. Luo Yao wrapped around him like a water snake. Where did Aaron go? I want a hug. Lin Ran didn't know if Luo Yao was sleep-talking or already awake, but he still whispered, I want to find the right way to love you. He then turned and gently hugged Luo Yao, letting her leg rest on his. The right way to love you is to love you freely and boldly. The love for the rest of my life is all yours. Hearing Lin Ran's words, although Luo Yao's eyes were closed, her heart was filled with joy, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curve up slightly. An Aaron like this was truly wonderful. From this moment, Lin Ran changed too. In the future, he would slowly grow into a true male protagonist. The rest of the night passed without a word. The next day, Lin Ran saw Uncle Fu. Uncle Fu, young Master Lin, you've rested well. Yes. Where's Yao Yao? Jiang Feihua answered directly. President Luo is working with the assistant team in the work area. Lin Ran nodded, ate a quick bite, and went to find Luo Yao. Sometimes Lin Ran really suspected that Luo Yao was a perpetual motion machine, never stopping her pace. He also knew why. Luo Yao's goal had always been to defeat all her enemies and then retire with him. Lin Ran also looked forward to that day arriving soon. In his past life, Luo Yao had actually reached that point, but unfortunately, he had failed to appreciate her kindness. Led by Jiang Feihua, Lin Ran and Uncle Fu arrived at the work area, which was Villa No. 8 of the manor. It was called a villa, but at a glance, it was truly a modern office space. When Lin Ran entered, all the assistants lowered their heads, but they were happy inside. Young Master Lin is here to show off his love again. Go ahead, show it off with all your might. He quietly walked up behind Luo Yao and gently covered her eyes. Aaron likes to play games. Lin Ran let go, feeling a little disappointed. No fun. You didn't even try to guess. In this world, besides Aaron, no one has the guts to joke with me like this. Hearing this answer, Lin Ran was instantly happy. What did this prove? It proved that he was the most special existence in the world. I'm deeply honored. Just then, Ming reported the day's schedule. President Luo, today we are going to inspect the group's branch office. Also, we just received an invitation. At 5 in the evening, the Modu Chamber of Commerce is hosting a banquet at the Li family's residence. You've been invited. They already know you've arrived. In truth, Luo Yao's itinerary was completely confidential, so even the people at the Moda branch and the Kyoto headquarters didn't know she had arrived yesterday. Luo Yao was planning a surprise inspection and to kick out a certain woman. But the people from the Modu Chamber of Commerce already knew, which proved that her itinerary had been leaked. However, Luo Yao had long been prepared for this. If her itinerary hadn't been discovered, then she would have suspected the world had crashed. Luo Yao nodded and looked at Lin Ran. Aaron, are you going to accompany me today or rest here? Of course I'll accompany you. Otherwise, in this unfamiliar place, I'd be a little scared. Ming. Young Master Lin, can't you just talk like a normal person? All right, I'll tidy up a bit, and then we'll get ready to go. Lin Ran glanced at one of the assistants at work, and his eyes widened in an instant. Looking at the other assistants, Lin Ran broke out in a sweat. Their work went beyond the scope of mere assistants. Some were rapidly tapping on their keyboards, and even though Lin Ran was no expert, he could tell. This was hacking. Luo Yao's team of assistants had terrifyingly impressive skills. There was nothing you could think of that they couldn't do. Aaron, let's go. Luo Yao quickly handled the work on her desk and came to Lin Ran. In truth, she wanted to keep Lin Ran by her side. After all, there were so many servants in the manor, and they were all quite good-looking. If something unexpected happened, wouldn't she have her home stolen from under her? Even if Lin Ran could resist, she wouldn't feel comfortable. But she couldn't replace the servants with men either. Compared to female servants, the androphobic Luo Yao was even more reluctant to use men for tasks. The moment a man got close to her, she felt disgusted. Lin Ran was an exception, and so was Uncle Fu. Lin Ran was the man she loved. She felt that everything about him was adorable, and she wanted to be close to him. And she herself loved it when Lin Ran enjoyed any part of her. As for Uncle Fu, although Luo Yao had androphobia, she could at least tolerate him without feeling disgusted. This alone showed how capable Uncle Fu was to be accepted by the androphobic Luo Yao as the manor's butler. It wasn't easy. Okay, just as Lin Ran was about to take Luo Yao's hand, she extended her arms. Carry me out. All the assistants were used to this. Ming and Uncle Fu just exchanged a glance. The only one whose jaw dropped was Jiang Feihua. But on the surface, at least, she managed to suppress her shock. Wasn't Luo Yao supposed to be ruthless, merciless, and cold as ice? Why did this feel a little off? After leaving Villeneuve, 8, the assistant team continued their work. Only Ming followed them. Isn't Uncle Fu coming with us? Luo Yao. It's fine for him to stay at the manor. Lin Ran looked at Ming, who was walking with her head down, not saying a word. He didn't quite understand why Luo Yao took Ming everywhere. Weren't they going to a banquet tonight? If they ran into trouble, could this woman really handle it? At this moment, Lin Ran had yet to find out that today, Ming would clearly show him just what kind of person a special assistant who could stay by Luo Yao's side was. She was no ordinary individual. At that moment, the driver in the front seat was adjusting his chair. Lin Ran looked and was instantly stunned. Wang Bao, why are you driving personally? Are there no drivers in Modu? Just then, Xiao Tong in the passenger seat smiled. Young Master Lin, Brother Wang has been practicing his driving skills diligently these days, just waiting to show them off. Lin Ran smiled as well. After all, everyone had their own hobbies. Then let me see Brother Wang's speed. Sitting in a very low-key Rolls-Royce Phantom, Lin Ran looked out the window, marveling at how different Modu was. It wasn't that Modu was so much better, but its architecture was indeed more modern, with a style quite different from Kyoto's. It wasn't that Modu was so much better, but its architecture was indeed more modern, with a style quite different from Kyoto's. Wang Bao's driving skills might be excellent, but they were useless here. Even in Modu, cars on the road did their best to stay far away from luxury vehicles, so Wang Bao had no chance to show off his skills. The car soon arrived at the Shanghai Central Tower in Lujiazui. That's right, the Luo Group's branch was located here, where every inch of land was worth its weight in gold, and it had its own office building. The Luo Group's biggest moneymaker was undoubtedly the Kyoto headquarters, followed by Modu. 3 years ago, the office building adjacent to the Shanghai Central Tower was put up for sale due to the viral crisis at the time, and Luo Yao had swept in and taken it over with a wave of her hand. Since then, the Luo Group had its own independent office building in Lujiazui. It was the only company in this area with its own building. As Luo Yao's car entered the parking lot, security waved it through directly, as they had been notified 5 minutes earlier that President Luo's car was about to arrive. Learning that Luo Yao was coming, the entire branch staff was organized by the general manager to greet her downstairs. This was the current head of the Luo family. The branch general manager personally opened the door for Luo Yao. "Young miss, welcome to Modu." Luo Yao got out of the car and glanced at the general manager. Just a single, simple word. Luo Yao had no intention of saying anything more. Lin Ran also noticed this general manager. She looked a bit weathered, but didn't seem very old. "Have everyone gather in the conference hall. We'll have a meeting first." The general manager seemed to be used to Luo Yao's cold attitude. In fact, she had known Luo Yao had arrived long ago. She was just pretending not to. Soon, the meeting began. Luo Yao sat on the main stage of the conference hall, with Lin Ran sitting beside her. There was even a nameplate that read, "The boss's husband, Lin Ran." It was a little embarrassing. The general manager sat on Luo Yao's other side, and Lin Ran saw the woman's name. Modu Regional General Manager, Luo Wunai, a member of the Luo family, and she was from Luo Yao's older generation. How did Lin Ran know? Because in the Luo family, those with Luo Wu in their name were from the previous generation. For example, Luo Wushuang, Luo Wuyo, Luo Woody, and this Luo Wunai. Luo Wuyo was gone. He had put Luo Woody in her place, and Luo Wushuang was hiding somewhere, still waiting for his poison to succeed. Luo Yao had said that this poison would only show its effects when the time was right. This Luo Wunai, however, was a bit special. This was the first time Lin Ran had seen a member of the Luo family working in the Luo Group. Luo Yao sat on the stage, her cold gaze sweeping over the several hundred people below. And these were just the management level. If everyone from the Moda branch were here, this hall wouldn't be able to hold them. At this moment, many people in the audience were looking up at Luo Yao and the others on stage. For many, it was their first time seeing her. Of course, a great many were staring at Lin Ran, their eyes filled with curiosity, as well as envy, admiration, and other emotions. Wow, so that's Lin Ran? He's even more handsome in person than on the live streams. I'm a fan. Shoo, keep your voice down. Some netizens say our president Luo might be one of those legendary Yander types. If that's the case, that sentence alone has put you on our kill list. I'm on a kill list already? Isn't that an exaggeration? A cold gaze swept across the entire hall from above, and a chilling voice created a suffocating feeling. I'm here today to announce one thing. Luo Wunai has been fired for corruption and accepting bribes. I will have the audit department conduct an investigation later. Luo Yao's opening words were a bombshell, leaving the entire audience dumbfounded. Who was Luo Wunai? She was the general manager of the Moda branch, the top dog in the company's Moda operations. Even in Kyoto, she was in a class of her own among the senior executives, perhaps even the person who made the most money for the Luo Group. Before Luo Yao took over the Luo Group, Luo Wunai was already thriving in Modu. After Luo Yao took over, she became even more powerful, reigning supreme in Modu. Now, Luo Yao had fired her just like that. And for corruption and bribery? Luo Wunai was even more shocked, staring at Luo Yao. She never dreamed this would be the first thing Luo Yao did upon arriving. "President Luo, have you been deceived by someone? How could I be corrupt? We're still aunt and niece." Luo Yao narrowed her eyes. "I, Luo Yao, have no relatives. The last time, at the Luo family's old residence, I dealt with all of them. Since you didn't go back, it proves you don't even consider yourself part of the Luo family. And even if we do share some useless blood connection, does that have any necessary link to whether or not you'd be corrupt?" Luo Wunai had been flustered, but now she suddenly calmed down. This was Modu, not Kyoto. "I'm sorry, I don't admit to your accusations. I have not engaged in corruption or bribery." However, would Luo Yao ever do something she wasn't sure about? If you want to know, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Since I was able to announce it, I definitely have concrete evidence. As she spoke, Luo Yao leaned closer to Luo Wunai and lowered her voice. "As a member of the Luo family, you dared to make mistakes within the group. If I don't deal with you, who should I deal with?" Luo Wunai understood. The reason Luo Yao fired her was only partly because of the corruption. The main reason was that she was a member of the Luo family. Luo Yao wanted to turn the entire Luo Group into her private property, not the Luo family's enterprise. And the members of the Luo family could only wait to be useless retirees, living off the increasingly diluted, insignificant shares the Luo family held in the Luo Group. Luo Yao shoved Luo Wunai to the ground and continued to address the entire audience. If any of you here have colluded with Luo Wunai, I advise you to report yourselves to my assistant, Lu Ming. If I find out, you will suffer greatly. After she finished speaking, a group of bodyguards rushed out from behind her. They were all brought from Kyoto. At this point, Luo Wunai stopped pretending. She knew there was no point in continuing the act. Luo Yao, you just want to eradicate me from the Luo Group. You just want to ensure there isn't a single Luo family member left in the Luo Group. What a ruthless heart you have. If you know I'm ruthless, why are you still barking like a dog? I could have had you sent to jail long ago. But before, the amount you embezzled wasn't quite enough to keep you there for good. Now it's just right. As the bodyguards restrained her, Luo Wunai began to panic. If they really audited her, she would truly have no chance of a comeback. President Luo, do I really not have a chance? Watching Luo Yao's performance, Lin Ran was inwardly marveling at how domineering she was. Was this the method of a domineering female tycoon? Luo Yao sensed Lin Ran's fervent gaze, and a touch of tenderness rose in her heart, but her face remained cold as ice. Is this the first day you've known me? Don't you know what kind of person I am? Begging for mercy? Have you lost your mind? Luo Yao directly announced Luo Wunai's fate. Luo Wunai knew she was facing a great disaster and didn't plan to just sit and wait for her doom. Hee. Luo Yao, do you think this is your Kyoto? This is Modu. My security system is not to be trifled with. Security? Where's security? Security, where are you? Hurry up and help me get rid of these people. And this Luo Yao, she just wants to destroy this place. If I can be fired today, all of you can be sent to jail tomorrow. In an entire conference hall, not a single person spoke. Everyone lowered their heads. They had now come to understand what kind of person Luo Yao was. They had heard that this woman was ruthless and merciless, and seeing her today, it was true that her reputation was well-deserved. Luo Yao's ruthlessness and mercilessness were even greater than the rumors. As for Luo Wunai, she was, to put it bluntly, just a general manager under Luo Yao. It wasn't worth it for them to risk their jobs to speak up for her. The person in charge of the Luo Group had always been Luo Yao alone. Besides, corruption and bribery deserved death. Knowing this, many people were secretly cheering. No company is without its dark side, but if the top leadership is corrupt, it's very dangerous. For example, at Luo Wunai's level, she could easily take money to promote people, which would suppress those who were genuinely capable. This was a very frightening thing. Of course, not everyone hated Luo Wunai. A portion of the people present had colluded with her, and they were still considering whether to stand up for her. Just then, Luo Yao made them retract their courageous hearts. Security? I'm sorry, but this place was already under my control before I arrived. The supreme power you imagined you had in Modu was just me watching you jump around. You're like a little clown. Luo Wunai couldn't believe it. Luo Yao had managed to infiltrate this place so quietly. She had always been so careful. Lu Ming, contact Su Kai and get to work. Yes, President Luo. Lu Ming also looked at the woman with contempt. The amount she had embezzled was over $1 billion in a single year. She was practically asking for death. Luo Wunai shouted, Luo Yao, you are heartless and unrighteous. You will never find love. You're even willing to send your own cousin aunt to jail. You are a... Suddenly, a lightning-fast shadow shot out, and a slap landed squarely. Smack! Lin Ran's face was filled with fury, his eyes turning slightly scarlet. You'd better watch your damn mouth. Who says Yao Yao can't be loved? Do you think I'm just a decoration? I didn't get to slap you at the old residence last time, so this is the perfect chance to make up for it. Lin Ran was already angry about Luo Wunai's corruption because that money belonged to Luo Yao, and what was Luo Yao's was his. Of course, he still maintained his rationality. But for Luo Wunai to dare to curse his wife, how could that be acceptable? If he didn't slap her, his name wouldn't be Lin. Lin Ran suddenly realized that this feeling of loving Luo Yao freely and boldly, of standing up for her, felt pretty damn good. You pretty boy, you dare to hit me? Do you know who I am? A mere toy of Luo Yao dares to hit me? I am her cousin aunt. I'll kill you. A woman's method of attack is often simple and unadorned, but her flailing claws were always a few centimeters away from Lin Ran. The bodyguard allowed her to make the motions, but ensured she couldn't touch him. Lin Ran, what the hell? You dare to square up with me? You got some nerve. Another smack. Sometimes Lin Ran suspected he was the reincarnation of the slap god. Looking at you flailing about, I thought the zoo had forgotten to close its gates today. Your helpless and exasperated look is truly pathetic. Luo Wunai was a bit dazed from the slaps. Lin Ran had used considerable force. He couldn't stand anyone cursing his wife, especially saying Luo Yao was unloved. You, I worked so hard for the Luo family, only to be bullied like this by an outsider. Lin Ran scoffed. What? Starting with the sob story? In that case, let me ask you, what is your dream? He wasn't afraid of the Luo family, or rather, he wasn't afraid of anyone other than Luo Yao. The reason he was so arrogant was that he had to be when he was by Luo Yao's side. For every person who admired Luo Yao, there was another who hated her. Who knew when their enemies might come after them? Since his wife was like this, what was the point of him being low-key? Oh, I know. Your dream is to first embezzle 100 million, right? Luo Yao also stood up at this moment, walked to Lin Ran's side, and linked her arm with his, looking at Luo Wunai as if she were looking at a dead person. Aaron, you guessed wrong. She embezzled over $1 billion in 1 year. Lin Ran, how much? Lin Ran admitted he had underestimated Luo Wunai's capabilities. He never thought a branch manager could embezzle so much. When Luo Yao said this, the entire audience gasped. No one had expected Luo Wunai to have embezzled so much. Luo Yao looked at Luo Wunai. What did you call Aaron just now? An outsider? To me, Aaron is my everything. You are the outsider. Luo Wunai stared blankly at the two of them, somewhat at a loss. She found that Luo Yao's gaze was just like it was all those years ago, giving her a suffocating feeling. Lin Ran, she didn't just call me an outsider, you know. She also called me a pretty boy and said I was your toy. I was just wondering, what's wrong with being your toy? Doesn't Aaron like it? I love it. Everyone looks down on me, but I have no ambition. I just want to be your toy. In front of everyone at the branch conference, Lin Ran engaged in a public display of affection. Boldly declaring his love was what Lin Ran wanted to do now. He had completely let himself go. What cautiousness! Love had to be spoken aloud, and without any fear, even in front of everyone. In layman's terms, he was being shameless. The corners of Luo Yao's mouth instantly curved up. Is your face very fair? It's only average, but your pores are sparkling. What kind of skincare does Aaron use? Lin Ran didn't expect Luo Yao's train of thought to jump even faster than his. Well, your love is my best skincare product. What should we do with this Luo Wunai? Send her to the relevant departments. Lock her up first and wait for the auditors. All the employees in the conference hall were trembling. No one had expected that it wasn't just Luo Yao who was crazy, but Lin Ran was just as wild. He would hit someone at the drop of a hat, without any regard for appearances. There was another thing that struck them as very strange. Both of them seemed to have a screw loose. 1 second they were talking about corruption, and the next they were whispering sweet nothings to each other. What kind of move was that? Could it be that something as major as embezzlement was less important to them than professing their love for each other? Crazy. A crazy couple. They didn't know it yet, but in the coming days, the couple's madness would repeatedly shatter their perceptions. Luo Wunai was taken away. No matter how much she screamed, no one came to save her. Luo Yao picked up a microphone and spoke again. I have nothing else to say. I will transfer a replacement for the general manager position here from the headquarters. As for the rest of you, those who need to turn themselves in, go find assistant Lu Ming. Maybe I'll give you a chance to reform. Give them a chance? That was something you'd say to fool children. Only an idiot would believe it. Also, Lin Ran is my husband and also the boss's husband of the Luo Group. Everything I have, I share with my husband. This statement is eternally valid. If anyone dares to disrespect my husband again or say anything unpleasant, don't blame me for making it impossible for you to survive. Damn it. The thought of Luo Wunai calling Lin Ran a pretty boy and a toy just now made Luo Yao furious. While she didn't dislike that dynamic, only she was allowed to think it. No one else was allowed to say it. Lin Ran was indeed her toy, but he was a toy for which she would pay with her life. After saying this, Luo Yao domineeringly slammed the microphone on the floor and left with Lin Ran. This was also an expression of her claiming her territory. Everyone see clearly, this man is mine. An extremely piercing sound came from the speakers, as if it would blow up the entire conference hall. But compared to the explosion in the employees' hearts, this bomb was nothing. Everyone was stunned. What had Luo Yao just said? Everything she had was also Lin Ran's? The Luo Group was a veritable cash cow in China, the world's newly #1 conglomerate, a ranking that would likely be maintained for a long time. For such a massive conglomerate, Luo Yao was willing to share it with Lin Ran. What kind of magic did Lin Ran possess? I used to think Lin Ran was just our President Luo's legal husband. What love is there in wealthy families? Now I realize just how much I envy Lin Ran. I envy President Luo even more. Didn't you see Lin Ran's expression when Luo Wunai said she was unloved? It was like he was about to blow up the earth. Luo Wunai is also pathetic. She's so rich, yet she still had to be corrupt. Greed knows no bounds. Look what happened. President Luo took her down directly. Over $1 billion. That's enough to buy the lives of my ancestors for 18 generations. Those people who colluded with Luo Wunai are doomed. Luckily, I wasn't one of them. I've disliked Luo Wunai for a long time. She used her position as the branch head to suppress people like us, right, old heir? Old heir? Say something, old heir. What's wrong with you? Why is your face so pale? Old heir suddenly snapped out of it and ran out of the conference hall to prepare his confession materials. Was this a joke? Luo Wunai was a member of the Luo family and the branch general manager, and she was gone just like that. He was just a second in command. What did he count for? Lu Ming followed beside Luo Yao. President Luo, the banquet this afternoon might not be peaceful. Regarding young Master Lin, Lu Ming didn't finish her sentence. She had always thought of Lin Ran as an ordinary person. At most, an ordinary person loved by Luo Yao. But Lin Ran's performance today was remarkably manly. When she learned that the Modu families might cause trouble at the banquet, she still intended to give them a heads up. Luo Yao didn't answer Lu Ming's question, but looked at Lin Ran with deep affection. Aaron, were you angry just now because Luo Wunai said I was unloved? Lin Ran, of course. I was so angry. I am clearly the person who loves you most in this world. On what grounds does she say you're unloved? I will never let you be unloved. Love is a strange thing, especially this kind of increasingly dependent love. This was likely a love that would only appear in a Yandera. For ordinary people, lovers eventually become family. But these two would be lovers for a lifetime. Luo Yao felt that her lips had been habitually curving into a smile recently, all thanks to the feelings Lin Ran gave her. It's fine. Just let Aaron come with me. I want to clearly tell everyone that Aaron is my lover. They can provoke me, but if anyone dares to provoke Aaron, I will let them know what true cruelty is. Lin Ran, what a coincidence. What my wife said is exactly what I was thinking. Arriving at the president's office in the tower, Luo Yao asked everyone else to leave, leaving her and Lin Ran alone in the office. Lin Ran was awed by the luxury here. The level of decoration was even higher than the office in Kyoto. Aaron, what do you think of this place? Lin Ran praised sincerely. It's beautiful, luxurious, and high quality. And should we play some games? Games like these are addictive. What's the most frustrating thing about gaming? It's when victory is clearly in sight, but it ends in defeat. It's when the boss is just a sliver of health left, but your own team gets wiped out first. It's being just one step away from success, only to be suddenly awakened by a relative blocking the door. Aaron, it's okay. Lin Ran quickly covered Luo Yao's mouth. He thought, forget it. He couldn't do that. It wasn't that he couldn't accept it, but he knew it was harmful to her health. Lin Ran couldn't do anything that would harm Luo Yao. This was the difference between the two of them. Luo Yao loved Lin Ran to death, but the essence of a Yandera is a lack of security. Even though Lin Ran's behavior was impeccable, it still couldn't completely put Luo Yao at ease. Even if Lin Ran was perfect, he couldn't fend off all the vixens out there. If Lin Ran even glanced at another woman, Luo Yao would have the urge to get rid of that woman. And Lin Ran also loved Luo Yao to death, but while Luo Yao could hurt him, he could not hurt Luo Yao. Whether physically or mentally, Lin Ran was unwilling to hurt her in the slightest. Even if he were to be crushed to pieces, he wouldn't complain of the pain, because this was what he owed Luo Yao, and it was what he was most willing to do now. A knock sounded on the door. Lin Ran had Luo Yao sit down and rest, and he called out, "Come in." Luo Yao wasn't feeling well, so it was better for her to talk less. Lu Ming walked in with a group of managers, more than 20 of them. Luo Yao didn't ask what these people were for, but first gave an order. Tear this place down and redecorate it. I don't want to see a single thing related to Luo Wunai. Understood. Why tear it down? Because Luo Yao had just discovered that this place had been used, and used long-term. She didn't have to think to know it was that woman, Luo Wunai. To dare to use her private office, she was asking for death. At this moment, the modem management team behind them stood trembling, not daring to speak. Their life and death were in Luo Yao's hands. President Luo, these are all the ones who turned themselves in and reported their actions. Lin Ran thought to himself, my God, there are so many. Verify all the funds, make them spit out whatever they ate, then have them sign a statement and get lost. Luo Yao was letting them off the hook, not because she was kind-hearted, but because she didn't want the trouble. She wouldn't be staying in Modu for long and would probably be heading back soon. Was she supposed to tell them now, "I'm planning to send you all to jail," and then have these people constantly bother her team? For now, she would release a smokescreen, indicating she was letting them go. Once she was back in Kyoto, she would just have the legal team visit them one by one. This was Luo Yao's style. Ruthless, yes, but never reckless. Thank you, President Luo. Those managers felt regret for losing their high-paying jobs, but more than that, they felt fortunate. Luo Yao really hadn't been completely merciless. She had given them a way out, allowing them to continue to shine at other companies. Who said Luo Yao would be utterly merciless to her enemies? This was practically a saint. Okay. Aaron, what should we have for lunch? Should we go back to the manor, or Lin Ran? Let's just eat in the cafeteria. Okay. Why the cafeteria? To show off their affection. Lin Ran had discovered a problem. Luo Yao loved to possess him in front of others, as if to declare, "This man is mine." Since that was the case, he might as well take the initiative to satisfy her, because this was also what he had always wanted to do. In Kyoto, everyone in the Luo Group knew who he was. It had to be the same in Modu. Arriving at the company's large cafeteria, the place was filled with various food stalls, all serving delicious meals. Lin Ran and Luo Yao, surrounded by bodyguards, actually stood in line to wait. This startled the other employees. The big boss was actually eating here? You have to know, the company's senior executives disdained coming to the cafeteria. Their meals were specially delivered. They never expected President Luo, the head of the #1 conglomerate, to come to the cafeteria to eat. And most importantly, she was even queuing. This was too down-to-earth. President Luo, young Master Lin, why don't you go first? Luo Yao didn't speak. Lin Ran waved his hand. No need. There are no high or low ranks here. We're all just here to eat. You don't need to be nervous. Wow, what a great President Luo. What a great young Master Lin. Yao Yao, go rest over there. I'll buy whatever you want to eat, and I'll feed you later. Feed President Luo? The employee who had just offered them his spot was about to say a few heartfelt words of praise for Lin Ran when he heard that sentence. He was instantly petrified. He thought about his own boyfriend who only knew how to play video games, then looked at this man. The employee's tears started to fall. Sobi, just kill me now. Luo Yao's expression was cold towards everyone, especially that employee who had dared to speak to Lin Ran. But hearing Lin Ran's words, she immediately transformed into a gentle and lovely wife. I don't want to. I'll just stay here and accompany Aaron. Lin Ran thought for a moment. All right, you wait here then. I'll go get the food. What do you want to eat? I'll eat whatever Aaron eats. Well, asking was the same as not asking. Lin Ran knew Luo Yao had an eating disorder and wasn't too demanding about food, but he still wanted her to experience the deliciousness of different foods. So he followed his own. Looking at the delicious food, he ordered a few items, all of them famous local Modu snacks. The bodyguards carried his ordered delicacies to the table, and he habitually began to feed her. Luo Yao gently took a bite of a crab roast soup dumpling. Look, young Master Lin and President Luo's relationship is so good. He even feeds her when they eat. What's the big deal? If my husband were as rich as President Luo, I'd provide kneeling service. Ah, the sour smell of jealousy. I can't take it anymore. Why isn't my boyfriend like young Master Lin? I really want to go talk to them up close. President Luo is my idol, but those bodyguards probably won't let me through. By the time you get close, you might already be on the bodyguards' kill list. Luo Yao heard the quiet discussions around her, and the corner of her mouth twitched up again. She gently took a bite of the crab roast soup dumpling, then frowned slightly, but said nothing. Just as she was about to continue eating, Lin Ran pulled back the chopsticks. Doesn't it taste good? They say this is a very famous local snack. Let me try. Seeing the subtle frown on Luo Yao's face, Lin Ran also noticed a problem. This one soup dumpling cost over 100 yuan. When he saw the price, even Lin Ran was taken aback. The owner had said there was no need to pay, but Lin Ran wasn't that kind of domineering person, so he still had someone pay. For a soup dumpling that cost over 100 yuan, if it wasn't delicious, it should at least not be bad, right? Then Lin Ran took a bite and was instantly stunned. The fishy taste made him question his existence. No wonder that Ani had insisted on adding a lot of vinegar. It was to cover up this taste. Lin Ran almost couldn't stop himself from spitting out. Whoa, what is this stuff? It was awful. Lin Ran didn't understand, but he respected it. After all, there are differences in regional food cultures. Even in Kyoto, there were plenty of unappetizing things. And the bigger the city, the faster it seemed to become a food desert. Luo Yao found Lin Ran's miserable expression very cute. Is it bad? It's all right. I like anything Aaron feeds me. Lin Ran thought to himself. The way you frowned just now didn't look like you liked it. Is that so? Heh, maybe. He suddenly remembered something Uncle Fu had said before. That's because you're the one feeding it to her, young Master Lin. I'm not exaggerating. Even if you fed her a mouthful of shit. A mouthful of poison. She would eat it without hesitation. Lin Ran shook his head with a bitter smile. There's other stuff here, let's try. He tried a few other delicacies, but the flavors didn't suit Lin Ran. In the end, he found that only the wontons were good. So, Lin Ran first fed the little devil, and then ate the wontons himself. As for the rest, he could only offer them to Lu Ming and the others. After lunch, Lin Ran and Luo Yao returned to the work area. The regional manager below had already found them a new office. President Luo, young Master Lin. Although this office is not as luxurious as the chairman's office, its advantage is that Luo Wunai has definitely never been here. One sentence went straight to Luo Yao's heart. Even Lu Ming looked at this regional manager with some surprise. What's your name? Luo Yao asked. President Luo. My name is Chi Chingwei. Good name. Lu Ming praised sincerely. To become a regional manager at such a young age, that's not simple. Assistant Lu, you're too kind. I'm just making a living under President Luo. Making a living? Very good. How long have you been with the company? Lu Ming continued to ask, her eyes sweeping over her. About a year. Not bad. Keep up the good work. You may leave now. Lu Ming dismissed her, and Chi Chengwei tactfully left. Lu Ming glanced at Luo Yao, who nodded. The meaning was clear. This woman needed to be investigated. A regional manager with an annual salary of less than $1 million was able to afford high-end custom jewelry. This was no ordinary character, and she had only been with the company for a year. To reach this position in such a short time was problematic, unless she was a true genius. But if she were a genius, it was impossible that Lu Ming had never heard of her. Just as Chi Chengwei went out and entered the elevator, a bodyguard who was coming to change shifts froze instantly. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The woman who just left? Was he mistaken? He quickly turned his head, but he couldn't see her anymore. Maybe I just miss her too much. That's why my eyes are playing tricks on me. Inside the room, Lin Ran's phone rang. He picked it up and saw it was Wu Zhishang. Brother Lin, what have you been busy with these past few days? Lin Ran, get to the point. Hee. Nothing gets past Brother Lin. It's Chun Tian. He wants to invite you and sister-in-law to come back and see Grandma, Sue, when you have time. He said the old lady misses you a lot. Lin Ran was silent for a moment, thinking that he had somewhat neglected the Chun family. At the very least, Su Jiangwo had helped him resolve the public opinion storm, although he could have solved it even without Su Jiangwo. All right, I got it. I'm in Modu right now. I'll go over in a few days. What the hell? What are you doing in Modu? Lin Ran thought to himself. It's none of your business. My wife's relatives are here. Nothing much. Just came with my wife. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up. We'll talk when I get back. All right, then, Brother Lin, you be safe. Don't forget there's a bunch of people down here waiting for you to buy them a meal. Lin Ran hung up the phone with a dark expression. Why did it feel like every time he opened his eyes, he owed a bunch of people their salaries? It was like being a novelist who wakes up every day owing several thousand words. When it was getting close to time, Lu Ming came to hurry them up, like an editor breathing down their necks for a new chapter, practically like he was rushing them to the grave. President Luo, we can leave in 10 minutes. What mode of transportation should we take? Luo Yao looked at Lin Ran and thought for a moment. Let's take a car. Aaron gets airsick. Understood. Luo Yao's attention to detail moved Lin Ran deeply. Are we going to banquet? That's right. I'm taking you to see the difference between the monsters and demons of Modu and the ghouls and goblins of Kyoto. Lin Ran, what's the difference? They're essentially the same. A bunch of bloodsuckers. Lin Ran looked awkward. Good grief. You say that as if we're not bloodsuckers ourselves. Luo Yao, of course it's different. If someone provokes me, I will turn them into a bloody mess, not just suck their blood. All right, that's even worse than sucking blood. Note, everyone, don't be too much of a saint. It's just a novel. Don't apply it to reality. The two of them finally walked out of the Luo Group building and got into a Rolls-Royce. The advantage of this kind of car is that it's spacious and comfortable. They set off on the road to the Li family's private manor in the suburbs. Today's banquet was being held there. The people invited were all famous big shots in the business world. It's no exaggeration to say that someone of Lin Tianba's former stature would only be qualified to serve tea and pour water here. Those who could come here were not only big shots from Modu, but also many business leaders who had traveled from other places. After all, to receive an invitation from the Li family of Modu was a great honor in itself. Of course, the most important invited guests were the heads of the Wang family, the Lu family, and the Samsung Group, Park Bo-ki. Why wasn't Luo Yao considered important? Because she wasn't a guest at all. She could only be considered a lunatic. When Luo Yao arrived, her car was stopped by security. "Hello, please show your invitation." Lu Ming, sitting near the door, opened the window and handed out the invitation. The security guard looked at it, and his expression instantly became serious. It was the president of the Luo Group. The host had given instructions that the people from Luo Group must be given a lesson. "I'm sorry, to prevent unauthorized individuals from sneaking in, please exit the vehicle for verification." Lu Ming looked at the security guard with confusion. "Didn't I already give you the invitation?" "I'm sorry, this is the rule. Verification is mandatory." At this point, anyone could tell what was going on. This security guard was clearly making things difficult for them. Lu Ming rolled her eyes in resignation, already imagining the guard's fate. "What do you think you are, to dare to verify our President Luo?" "I'm sorry, this is a high-profile banquet. Who knows if some random cats and dogs might sneak in. So please exit the vehicle for verification." "Cats and dogs? Fine, you really know how to court death. You want to verify, is that it? Open the car door," Luo Yao said coldly. The door slowly opened, and the security guard looked smug. He had stepped on the face of the Luo Group today. He would definitely be praised by his master and given a bonus when he got back. The moment the car door opened, the security guard vanished from his spot. When he looked up, he was already inside the car. Luo Yao leaned on Lin Ran's shoulder, her gaze as sharp as a knife, and asked coldly, "Now, do you know who I am?" It was only then that the security guard reacted, shouting, "What are you doing? Let me go, or I'll call for help." Actually, he didn't need to shout. The moment he disappeared, the other guards outside all went on high alert, surrounding the car. Without a word, Lu Ming plunged a knife into the security guard's shoulder. The guard was drenched in sweat from the pain, wailing in agony. "If a single drop of your blood touches the car, I'll cut off one of your fingers." "Got it." Lin Ran glanced at Lu Ming with some surprise, but it was just a glance. Luo Yao also glanced at Lu Ming, a hint of complaint in her eyes. It was only at this moment that the injured security guard realized what kind of terrifying people he had provoked. The people outside all drew their weapons and shouted, "Who is in the car? Release the man and get out for inspection." Lu Ming simply opened all the car doors. Luo Yao and Lin Ran were in the captain's chairs, so they couldn't be seen from outside. "Inspection? You are not worthy. Right now, President Luo of the Luo Group is going in. If you're not afraid of death, then block the car. Wang Bao drive." She didn't even bother to close the car doors, letting the people outside see clearly what had happened to their companion. Wang Bao's eyes gleamed with excitement. The skills he had painstakingly practiced these past few days were finally going to be put to use. Vroom! Even a Rolls-Royce could emit a huge roar. A cloud of smoke shot out, startling the security guards who all scattered. Seeing the people outside scatter, Wang Bao scoffed. "A few thousand a month. Why risk your life for that?" At that moment, the security guard lying in the back was filled with regret. After all that, he was the only one who had risked his life. "Lu Ming, your blood dripped." The security guard, "Huh?" In the manor's banquet hall, the host was preparing to speak. "Why aren't the people from the Luo Group here yet? Maybe they're stuck in traffic. These young people just have no sense of time." The current head of the Li family was named Li Chifan. He was in his 50s and dressed in a somewhat archaic style, similar to what you'd see in a martial arts film. In his view, it was a very stable and dignified style of dress, but it also made him seem out of place in a modern era. Yet, this ridiculous style of dress was met with a chorus of praise from those around him. "Family Headley, that girl Luo Yao is just a nouveau riche. We don't need to wait for her, right?" The head of the Lu family didn't come today. Instead, it was the Lu family's second young master, Lu Lutong. He came with his 2 sons and 1 daughter. Although he was called the second young master, the guy was already in his 50s. Lu Lutong's eyes held not only politeness, but also jealousy when he looked at Li Chifan. He was jealous that Li Chifan had become the family head at only 50-something, while he, Lu Lutong, at over 50, still hadn't secured the right of inheritance in the Lu family. The Lu family had many heirs. Lu Lutong alone had 8 blood brothers, a true 9 sons vying for the throne situation. And the most likely candidate for the next family head was not him, but his 9th brother. Plus, he was getting old, and although his father was 80, he was in good health and had no intention of retiring. This made Lu Lutong very anxious. "Don't you agree?" Wang Daikong, the Wang family's eldest young master, Wang Daikong, looked disdainful. His female companion was a beautiful internet celebrity anchor with a standard, popular aesthetic. At this moment, Wang Dekong said mockingly. "Today, I'm only here to observe on behalf of my father. I won't be making any comments." Lu Lutong was very dissatisfied with Wang Dekong's words. In the past, the Wang family was very powerful in Modu, but in recent years, they had been declining. If it weren't for their solid foundation and old Wang's strong network of connections built over the years, they would have been kicked out of the three major families long ago. However, Lu Lutong was still very envious of Wang Dekong. Why? Because regardless of the Wang family's size, he was the first heir. The reason was simple. He was an only son. At this moment, the head of Samsung, Park Bo-ki, said with a serious expression, "I say, everyone, let's get started. A woman like Luo Yao, who is rude and vicious, is not qualified to speak with us." Li Qifan naturally knew that Luo Yao had been stopped. His goal was to give her a show of force. The last time Luo Yao attended such a gathering, she was just a very aloof minor character. He never expected that in just a few short years, the girl who had broken someone's bones for touching her would become the head of the #1 conglomerate. This transformation made every established family red with envy. "Family head, it's bad, Luo." The security guard, having heard the report about Luo Yao on his walkie-talkie, was about to relay it to the family head when he was suddenly interrupted by a loud noise. Vroom! The roar of the engine startled everyone. Why was there the sound of car here? This was the Li family manor's private banquet hall. Bang! The high-end Agarwoo doors were smashed open, and a Rolls-Royce charged in brazenly. Everyone screamed in panic. The car executed a handsome drift, stopping directly in front of the Li family head, just 1 centimeter away from him. It was clear that Wang Bao's driving skills were indeed excellent. In fact, he had honed his skills after being boxed in by 2 cars on the way back to the manor while protecting Lin Ran in Kyoto last time. When the Rolls-Royce entered, its hood ornament flew off and landed right on the Li family head's head. Li Qifan forced himself to remain calm, but a drop of cold sweat on his forehead was already evident. But he couldn't show too much anger, because he had to maintain his composure. Dressed in his traditional style clothes with a Rolls-Royce emblem on his head, he feigned calmness and shouted, "Who in that car dares to act so presumptuously in my Li family manor?" The car door opened, and a blood-soaked security guard was thrown out. "Sorry about that. The car lost control. I'll have someone compensate you for the damages here, old dog." "Old dog?" Through the open car door, Li Qifan looked at Luo Yao sitting inside. This legendary first lady of finance. He was so angry he nearly exploded on the spot. He was the current head of the Li family, a family in Modu that was only slightly weaker than the Lu family. Even if the head of the Lu family were here, he wouldn't dare to speak to him like this. Now Luo Yao was calling him an old dog. "You little brat, what did you call me?" When his Li family dominated the business world, the Luo family was just an ordinary second-rate family. He never expected that in just a few years, this woman would transform it into a top-tier family like his own, even surpassing it, and be crowned with some title of #1 conglomerate. What bullshit #1 conglomerate? Luo Yao was just a mere woman. How was she worthy? It was all just damn luck. Looking at the security guard on the ground, clutching his fingers and wailing in pain, Li Qifan's expression turned very ugly. Calling you an old dog is a compliment. After all, it's not your choice to be a dog, is it? Li Qifan couldn't take it anymore. He had never been so insulted in his life. Just then, Lu Lutong interjected. "President Luo, is the head of the Li family someone you can insult? And no matter how crazy you are, you can't just hit people, can you?" Luo Yao didn't even look at the speaker and said coldly, "Get lost. Even your father wouldn't dare to talk to me like that here." Just as Lu Lutong was about to retort, Li Qifan stopped him. Luo Yao was right. A second-generation moocher like Lu Lutong was indeed not qualified to speak to her, but he was. Li, am very happy that President Luo could accept the invitation to my Li family's banquet. Even though you almost hit me, I can let it go. But you beat our family security guard for no reason. Isn't that a great disrespect to me? You should know that assault is against the law." Lu Ming got out of the car, looked around, and nodded at Luo Yao. Only then did Luo Yao get out of the car. The moment she stepped out, everyone felt the temperature in the air drop a degree, as if a cold air conditioner had been turned on. No one dared to meet her gaze, because Luo Yao's eyes were so cold they didn't seem human. "Oh, who did I hit?" After speaking, Luo Yao reached out and linked arms with someone in the car, and Lin Ran also stepped out. The two of them were now quite famous throughout the country. Even these wealthy families had heard of them, and many had even watched Lin Ran's live streams and really liked his personality. Some were even fans of Luo Yao Media's short dramas. So, even among the wealthy, Lin Ran had fans. Aaron, this old dog, is shamelessly accusing me of hitting someone. Tell me, how could I possibly be so violent? Even Li Qifan was stunned by Luo Yao's gaze. Luo Yao was even more chilling than the last time they met a few years ago. But he was the head of the Li family, a head who had taken the position by getting rid of his own father. He wasn't easily scared. You dare say you didn't hit the security guard? Luo Yao linked her arm with Lin Ran's, not even glancing at the security guard on the floor, but looking at her husband beside her. Aaron, did I hit anyone? Lin Ran smiled and shook his head, then kicked the security guard on the floor. Did we hit you? The security guard immediately started trembling like a leaf. No, I accidentally bumped into your car myself. I cut off my own finger to atone for my mistake. The wound on my shoulder was also for me accidentally stabbing myself. It was definitely not your assistant who stabbed me. I did it all myself. Luo Yao's gaze swept over everyone present. They were all so-called scions of wealthy families, business tycoons, and famous socialites. Even some of her own partner groups. Family Headley, did you hear that? You just falsely accused me, which made me very unhappy. Now you need to apologize to me, or else I'll have someone blow up your manor. Arrogant. What a boastful little brat. Lin Ran stepped directly in front of Luo Yao. My wife's breath is very fresh. You, on the other hand, what are you pretending to be a tycoon for with a Rolls-Royce emblem on your head? Li Qifan with a Rolls-Royce on his head. Image reference. White-browed Eagle King from the Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber, for reference only. Puffed. Many people didn't think much of Li Qifan's appearance, but after hearing Lin Ran's words, they wanted to laugh but didn't dare. They thought Lin Ran was hilarious. And Li Qifan's current appearance was indeed comical. Coupled with his penchant for wearing traditional-style clothing, yet sporting a very modern headpiece, it was undeniably funny. Li Qifan also felt that his dignity had been insulted, but he couldn't actually kick Luo Yao out. After all, at today's banquet, the Luo Group was a supporting character. If the supporting character was kicked out, who would he show his prepared jokes to? Oomph. Since President Luo has arrived, my Li family naturally welcomes you. Please. Li Qifan's sudden change of attitude left everyone else stunned. Suddenly, he looked at Lin Ran and said, "But this man, what is his status to be worthy of appearing here?" Lin Ran's words had just made him a laughingstock, so naturally, he was not happy. "What brand of trash bag are you, to dare to act tough in front of me, in front of my wife?" Lin Ran immediately retorted. Li Qifan. He felt that Lin Ran's insult was very dirty, but he had no proof. Luo Yao. Since this place doesn't welcome my husband, we'll just leave. I only came here to see who was here and who wasn't, so I know who to look for in the future. Everyone lowered their heads. They had all heard of Luo Yao's madness, and now they had seen it. After all, there was a security guard lying on the floor in a truly ghastly state. As Luo Yao was about to leave, Li Qifan quickly stopped her. "Wait, so Mr. Lin is your husband, in that case." Before Li Qifan could finish, Luo Yao began to mock him. "The whole country knows Lin Ran is my husband. Are you not Chinese? Then may I ask, what is your purpose for coming to China? For spies, our government's methods will definitely teach you how to be a new person." Li Qifan was momentarily stunned. He hadn't expected Luo Yao's tongue to be so sharp. Wasn't it said that she rarely spoke nonsense? Or had she discovered something? Lin Ran, however, was secretly laughing on the side. Luo Yao seemed to be a bit like him when he was being a smartass. She had learned magic attacks. In the past, Luo Yao was a warrior, and he was a mage. Now, Luo Yao also knew magic, but unfortunately, he still couldn't fight. The gap was getting wider and wider. Lin Ran felt not a shred of sympathy for Li Qifan, because this guy was indeed not a good person. Faced with Luo Yao's slander, Li Qifan didn't dare to accept it. "Don't talk nonsense. I am a genuine Chinese citizen. Please, President Luo, take your seat. The banquet is about to begin." He directly changed the subject, then pointed at the car. However, could this car be moved out first? Luo Yao didn't answer, but walked towards the Lu family's table. At the same time, the Li family's people cleared up the mess with the fastest possible speed and replaced the door with a brand new one. The Li family's banquet was very different. It wasn't a cocktail party where everyone moved around freely, but a seated dinner with a clear hierarchy of hosts and guests, with food and drinks. The Luo Group's table was arranged in a corner. Luo Yao said nothing and walked directly to the Lu family spot. At this moment, Lu Lutong looked nervous. He had actually already regretted his actions. Luo Yao dared to slap the face of the Li family head. She would probably do the same to him. The reason he disliked Luo Yao was not only because they were competitors, but also because Luo Yao had once shamed the Lu family. On a similar occasion years ago, his closest younger brother had merely touched Luo Yao and had his bones broken. That time, Luo Yao had been crazy enough, but not as crazy as this time. That time, Luo Yao had acted in a place where no one was watching. Although everyone knew what had happened, no one could produce any evidence. But this time, it was in front of a large crowd, which was truly arrogant. This woman was getting crazier and crazier. So just now, he had quietly slipped away, afraid of provoking this woman and bringing negative consequences to the Lu family. He was not the only son of the Lu family. He had to be careful every step of the way. He had just wanted to curry favor with the Li family head, hoping for some support when the Lu family chose its next successor in the future. Luo Yao stood in front of Lu Tong. I told you to get lost just now. Didn't you hear me? Li Chifin saw the situation over here, but didn't have anyone intervene. He also wanted to see how this second young master of the Lu family would handle this. Part Boki from Samsung didn't even look in this direction, pretending to be uninterested, but he was actually nervous. He had some trauma when it came to Luo Yao. The Wang family's representative, Wang Daikong, looked even more indifferent. He hadn't even wanted to come today. It was old Wang who had forced him. With the two major families and Samsung not intervening, the others simply settled in to watch the show. Lu Tong was a man in his 50s, yet he was being berated like this by Luo Yao. He naturally couldn't keep a straight face. What was even more unbearable was the reaction of his children. His eldest son, Lu Xiangdai, his younger son, Lu Xiangji, and his youngest daughter, Lu Shanting, all stood up. Although they didn't have a very high status in the Lu family, with the Lu family's backing, they were socialites and young masters in Modu that no one dared to provoke. Luo Yao, this is Modu. In Modu, no one dares to treat our Lu family like this. I don't care what kind of character you are in Kyoto, but when you come here, you'd better lower your head and behave. His older brother, Lu Xiangdai, looking furious, was the first to jump up and speak. His younger brother, Lu Xiangji, sitting in his seat, directly started spewing insults. You dare to tell our Lu family to get lost? What kind of dog do you think you are? In fact, while they spoke these words, their thoughts were completely different. The first time they saw Luo Yao, they were stunned by her beauty. What kind of goddess was this? She would outshine everyone anywhere. The two brothers had simultaneously fallen for Luo Yao, but as the two young masters of the Lu family, they couldn't lose their cool, so they put on the airs of dandies, which was also their true nature. Luo Yao narrowed her eyes. She had seen the look in the two brothers' eyes in countless men before. One of the reasons she grew to hate men more and more was the look in their eyes. It wasn't just Luo Yao. Even Lin Ran's eyes were emitting dangerous signals. He had also noticed that the way these two looked at Luo Yao was far from innocent. Luo Yao didn't speak. Lu Ming made a please go ahead gesture. Everyone was filled with question marks. This young lady hasn't performed yet. After you're done performing, our president Luo will make her move. Otherwise, it would seem like we're being impolite. Lu Shanting glanced generously at Lin Ran. Although I don't really like you two, I am a fan of Lin Ran. If you can get your husband to spend a night with me, maybe I'll consider speaking up for you. Lu Ming was instantly dumbfounded. She never expected that the person in the Lu family most capable of courting death was this seemingly harmless little girl. This was practically dancing in the channel of death. Even the King of Hell would call her an expert. The Black and White Reapers would shake their heads in dismay. As expected, Luo Yao's already stern face instantly changed color. Her anger raged as if it would blow up the entire banquet hall. She hated the Lu brothers, but she hated this Lu family daughter even more. You, say, what? You, just, said, again. Lu Shanting was instantly stunned, frightened by Luo Yao's tone. Lu Tong, seeing that things were not going well, quickly pulled Lu Shanting back, afraid his daughter would get hurt. President Luo, I'm sorry. We'll leave right now. Lu Tong was about to leave with his son and daughter, who felt their father was being a bit too cowardly. And Luo Yao just stood there, stunned, thinking about what Lu Shanting had just said. Suddenly, she felt the warmth in her hand. Luo Yao came back to her senses and looked at Lin Ran beside her. This kind of comfort was very soothing to her. Lin Ran was also very angry. He was angry that these people who didn't know their place had made his wife angry. Wifey, don't be angry. I'll get revenge for you. Seeing the Lu family preparing to leave, he was about to make a move, but Luo Yao stopped him instead. Lin Ran looked at Luo Yao with a puzzled expression. Luo Yao just shook her head at him, telling him to sit down first. Lin Ran thought for a moment, and chose to sit down. He couldn't disobey his wife. The Lu family also took this opportunity to flee, sitting down in the seats originally meant for the Luo family. The Lu brothers and Lu Shanting were clearly not very happy. In Modu, it had always been them slapping other people's faces. This was the first time someone had slapped theirs. Lu Ming directly threw the Lu family's table plaque on the floor and stomped on it hard. This scene was witnessed by everyone, including Li Qifan. However, people's thoughts were polarized. Most people thought, Lu Lutong is too much of a coward, he's disgraced the Lu family. Luo Yao is too fierce, she scared away the Lu family directly. C'est domineering. But Li Qifan didn't think so. Lu Lutong wasn't completely useless. At least he had some sense. He knew that if the conflict had escalated further, they would definitely have been in trouble. To be able to swallow his pride and obediently get lost in front of so many wealthy families required some courage. Able to bend and stretch. Interesting. Sigh. Li Qifan sighed. If Lu Lutong hadn't chosen to endure the humiliation, he would have been even happier. Looking at the car still parked in the banquet hall, and the two upright-looking bodyguards in the driver and passenger seats, Li Qifan could only pretend not to see. He knew Luo Yao had no intention of moving the car. Lin Ran sat beside Luo Yao. Yao, don't be angry over such disgusting people. I'll personally teach them a lesson for you later. Luo Yao. Aaron isn't really thinking of spending a night with her, is he? In fact, if Lin Ran hadn't been here, Luo Yao might have had Lu Shanting eliminated on the spot. How is that possible? Who do you take me for? Besides you, I wouldn't even look at another woman. Luo Yao, really? Of course it's true. You didn't stop me just now, because you were worried I'd fall for that woman, did you? In fact, Luo Yao did have such thoughts. Of course, she also really didn't want Lin Ran to get his hands dirty in public, especially with such a disgusting woman. Even if it was just to hit her, Lin Ran's hand would touch that woman, and the thought of that was nauseating. You don't have to do it. I will personally take this revenge. Lin Ran lowered his voice. Yao, you're not the type to wait for the right time for revenge. Even if the other party was the Lu family, Lin Ran didn't think Luo Yao would tolerate it. Who said I'm going to wait? Lin Ran? Then why did you stop me just now? Luo Yao's eyes gradually became somewhat pathological. Lu Ming. Their voices were not loud, and with the interference of the soft music in the hall, although most people were paying attention to them, they couldn't hear anything. President Luo. I hate that woman's mouth. You handle it later. Lin Ran? Let Lu Ming go? That made sense. Lu Ming's performance in the car earlier was already quite fierce. Lu Ming. Understood. Sigh. Some people just won't die unless they court death. The banquet officially began. The host, Li Qifan, personally took the stage to speak. Everyone, today's banquet is hosted by our Li family. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your presence, which has made my humble home shine with splendor. The people below were all complaining in their hearts. To hell with your humble home. You're so pretentious. Of course, I believe you all know that our three major families in Modu have cooperated with Korea's #1 conglomerate. I believe that in the future, we will definitely be able to reclaim our share of the Chinese market and win this bidding project. At this point, Li Qifan glanced at Luo Yao, only to find that she wasn't listening to his speech but was flirting with Lin Ran. Damn it, what do you mean by this? You don't take me seriously? Some projects in our Chinese market have been monopolized by unscrupulous enterprises, causing us, the original established families, to struggle. We will naturally not agree to this. That's why we have this cooperation. Such an unscrupulous person even wants to take away the biggest science and technology city bidding project. So I would also like to ask all our friends here, can you accept? Woo. Before Li Qifan could finish, a tragic scream echoed throughout the hall. Immediately, everyone's gaze turned in one direction. It was the direction of the public restrooms. Lu Ming, having washed her hands, walked out and slowly returned to her seat. No one knew what that sound was. Just then, a woman walked out with a mouth full of blood. It was Lu Shanting of the Lu family. Whoa. Lu Ming nodded at Luo Yao. Lin Ran. Special Assistant Lu. What did you do to her? Luo Yao gave Lin Ran a strange look. You're concerned about her? Faced with her unfriendly tone, how could he dare to admit it? Of course, Lin Ran truly wasn't concerned about Lu Shanting. Just curious. Luo Yao said flatly, tore out her tongue. Lin Ran looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Lu Ming lowered her head. What surprised Lin Ran was that after knowing Lu Ming for so long, he never realized she was such a ruthless character. Yet today, Lu Ming had completely overturned his perception of her. In the car, Lu Ming's slash had been decisive and swift, even carrying a hint of Luo Yao's shadow. Now, she had silently turned someone into a deaf mute. I've really underestimated Assistant Lu. Lu Ming's head drooped even lower. She didn't want to meet Lin Ran's gaze. Young Master Lin flatters me. Why didn't she dare to look at Lin Ran? Because she was afraid of giving Luo Yao the wrong idea. As Luo Yao's special assistant, few knew Luo Yao better than she did. Lin Ran, but I want to know, what do we do now? The corners of Luo Yao's mouth curved up as she looked at Lin Ran and said, then you'll have to watch my performance. When Lu Tong saw his daughter, he was horrified and rushed over with the Lu family. Daughter, what's wrong? Are you okay? Woo-woo. Wawa. Woo-woo. Sister, who bullied you? Was it her? Lu Xiangji pointed at Lu Ming and said, Woo-woo. Why, woo. Lu Xiangdai frowned at his sister and reached out to move Lu Shanting's hand away. Instantly, everyone's eyes widened. Lu Shanting's mouth was gushing blood. Her tongue, is it severed? Instantly, everyone turned their heads towards Luo Yao, while Lu Ming sat there with a gentle expression. Most of the people present felt their scalps tingle, their faces filled with shock. What are you all looking at me for? Don't make baseless accusations. I didn't do it. Everyone had personally seen Lu Ming come out of there. If not her, who else could it have been? Lu Tong, heartbroken, had people send his daughter to the hospital for treatment, but Lu Xiangdai stopped them to ask, Sister, do you know who did it? Lu Shanting was in so much pain she was about to faint, but she still shook her head vigorously. She truly didn't know. She had just been in the restroom when the door was suddenly kicked open. Before she could see anything, her hair was grabbed, her eyes were covered, and then a cold sensation in her mouth turned into excruciating pain. Facing his daughter's tragic state, Lu Tong could finally bear it no longer. After his daughter was sent away, he shouted at Luo Yao, President Luo, why did you do this? Luo Yao glanced at Lu Tong. To catch culprits, you need pairs. To catch a thief, you need the loot. Lu Tong's eyes were bloodshot as he looked at Li Qifan. Patriarchally, this happened at your Li family's event. Don't you plan to take charge? Li Qifan was also starting to have second thoughts. He had underestimated Luo Yao. Regardless of whether this girl deserved the title of the #1 plutocrat's daughter, one thing was undeniable. She was crazy and ruthless. And for this to happen, right as he was about to make an important announcement, it felt like it had been planned. President Luo, although we all saw you here the whole time, your assistant. Lu Ming immediately interjected. Patriarchally, you need evidence. I'm just a weak woman. How could I possibly do such a thing? Or can you produce any evidence? The Li family truly couldn't produce any evidence, and even if they could, they wouldn't dare. A banquet of this caliber, of course, did not allow recording. All cameras had been covered long ago. And even if they weren't covered, there were no cameras inside the restroom, and most outside. But as it happened, the cameras today were covered. There was no footage to prove whether there was a third person in the restroom besides Lu Ming and Lu Shanting. Lu Ming had taken advantage of this fact to commit the act. What President Luo wanted was to shit and piss on your face and see what you would do about it. And she wasn't afraid, even if the cameras weren't covered. The Li family wouldn't dare to show the footage. What would be the point of showing it? To tell everyone, be careful when you attend banquets hosted by business tycoons in the future. I might be recording you. Luo Yao. Li Qifan was genuinely furious. This enraged him even more than Luo Yao's previous humiliation. The one injured was a member of the Lu family. Although not a core figure, they were still representing the Lu family today. At the Li family's banquet, her tongue was gone. If he didn't provide an explanation, the Lu family would absolutely not let it go. Although the three major families were cooperating now, it was just cooperation. More than that, it was competition. I'm here. Don't look at me like that. I said, don't make baseless accusations without evidence. If you keep spouting nonsense, then I'll have to have a good talk with you about reason. Luo Yao's voice grew colder as she spoke, but she was happy inside. After all, that bitch had been hurt. At this moment, below the stage, Park Bo-ki, who was closest to Li Qifan, lowered his voice. Patriarchally, if you want to deal with this woman now, we at Samsung are willing to help you. Li Qifan gave Park Bo-ki a cold glance and didn't respond. He felt this matter was truly difficult to handle. Their three major families, along with Samsung, were naturally not afraid of the Luo's group. But if Luo Yao really went after him, would these so-called partners really help? They might just watch the show. So what Park Bo-ki said was bullshit. His real purpose was to incite him to fight with Luo Yao. Li Qifan was well aware of this. By the same token, if the Lu family went after him, would others help? Naturally not. The current three major families and Samsung were only temporarily allied to suppress Luo Yao in business. Thinking of this, Li Qifan knew what to do. Offending a non-core member of the Lu family was better than offending the head of the Luo's group. The one injured was only the daughter of the Lu patriarch's second son. The third generation of the Lu family had at least dozens of people. One more or one less didn't matter. As for Lu Lutong, he would find a way to compensate him after this was over. So, Li Qifan glanced at a security guard in the corner. The guard instantly foamed at the mouth, collapsed, and started convulsing. The guard next to him shouted, "He has epilepsy and a mental illness. Everyone stay back." Everyone was startled. Wang Tsong. Damn, the Li family is impressive. They dare to hire anyone. Just then, the person on the ground stopped convulsing and knelt on the floor, crying bitterly. "My name is Wu Bei. I'm sick. I have a mental illness. I think I had an episode just now and cut someone's tongue. I'm guilty. I beg you to take me away." After speaking, he collapsed on the ground and started convulsing again. Everyone fell silent. No one expected the Li family to have a mentally ill person on staff. Some people narrowed their eyes, seeing right through this little trick. Among them was Lu Lutong. Having survived the succession struggle among the 9 sons of the Lu family, he was naturally no fool. He saw through the scheme at a glance. "Patriarchally, what is the meaning of this?" Li Qifan directly interrupted him. "So that's what happened. My apologies, I jumped to conclusions without getting the facts straight. Brother Lu, rest assured, since this is my Li family's fault, I will certainly give you a satisfactory answer. After the meeting, I will personally apologize to you." Li Qifan's words were quite artful. He called Lu Lutong Brother Lu, giving him plenty of face, as he himself was the current patriarch of the Li family. Then he admitted his own mistake, stating that the matter was the Li family's problem, and that the Li family was willing to accept the punishment. Finally, he said he would personally apologize, which implied significant benefits. Lu Lutong paused for only a moment before nodding. "So that's how it is. In that case, I can only give patriarchally face and discuss this further after the event." Lu Lutong felt much better. How could the affection between wealthy family members be greater than their interests? Although he felt sorry for his daughter, if his daughter's death could be exchanged for his own right to inherit the patriarch's position, he would not hesitate to push her to her death with his own hands. The brothers Lu Xiangdai and Lu Xiangji also fell silent. They didn't understand their father, but didn't dare to object. So, they both shot a fierce glare at Luo Yao. By now, their previous admiration for Luo Yao had turned into hatred. If possible, they had to torture Luo Yao. Over there, Lin Ran narrowed his eyes. These two guys were people he had to deal with. Daring to covet his woman, they were courting death. But although Lin Ran was crazy, he wouldn't commit a crime on the spot like Luo Yao. In a public setting, the most he would do is beat someone up. Only in places where no one could see would Lin Ran become truly unhinged. After all, he didn't have Luo Yao's kind of power. It wasn't that he couldn't do it, but there was no need. In fact, even Luo Yao hadn't acted on the spot. She had Lu Ming deal with Lu Shanting out of sight. Li Qifan breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed this Lu Lutong knew when to advance and when to retreat. It should be fine to engage with him. Li Qifan. "All right, everyone please be seated. Let's continue." He said continue, but many people were no longer in the mood. In a banquet where one's tongue might just disappear, who would dare to speak? But at this very moment, Lin Ran stood up. "You tell me to sit, I won't sit." Lin Ran pointed at the Lu Xiangdai brothers. "What are you looking at? Don't want your eyes anymore." Luo Yao's beautiful eyes blinked and blinked. She was really starting to like Lin Ran's current domineering attitude more and more. The Lu family members, seeing a pretty boy dare to confront them like this, were filled with rage. But since he had Luo Yao backing him, they didn't dare to do anything. Li Qifan's brow furrowed tightly. He wondered if this event could even proceed. "Mr. Lin, please have a seat. Otherwise, you're making things very difficult for me." Lin Ran had figured out. Luo Yao hadn't come to attend any banquet today. She was here to cause trouble. So, he reached out and flipped the table. "Difficult? Then don't hold it." Crash. Fortunately, only one dish had been served, so it wasn't a huge waste. Li Qifan was finally enraged. "Guards!" Luo Yao closed her eyes, her voice cold. "Old dog, I advise you not to make a move. I know your purpose for inviting me today. Isn't it just to use the cooperation between your 3 major families and Samsung to suppress my Luo's group? You think I'm afraid of you?" At this, Luo Yao opened her eyes, and a chilling feeling emerged once again. "I wonder If the Wang family and the Lu family knew your true colors, would they still cooperate with you? After all, a person with no bottom line can sell anything. What do partners count for? Luo Yao's words shocked the entire audience, all of them staring with wide eyes. Li Qifan almost cried out in alarm. If it weren't for the good composure he had developed through years of ruthless dealings, he would have collapsed by now. Because there was real meaning behind Luo Yao's words. What true colors of Li Qifan? Don't talk nonsense, or I'll sue you for defamation. Luo Yao stood up. I can pretty much guess what you're going to say next, so I won't listen anymore. I'll take my leave. With that, Luo Yao left with Lin Ran, getting back into the unbranded Rolls-Royce where Wang Bao had been waiting. A word of advice to all of you. Sometimes you really need to pick the right side. Don't be like a blind man. After Luo Yao finished speaking, she had Wang Bao drive. The sound of the car starting was very abrupt here. Wang Bao floored the accelerator. The Rolls-Royce, like a fierce beast, crashed through the newly installed main gate again. A file folder was thrown out of the car window. This is a gift for the old dog. Take good care of it. From the moment Luo Yao started speaking until now, Li Qifan's mind was already about to explode. Seeing that file folder, he hurried to pick it up himself. He knew that inside was something Luo Yao had given him. Just then, Part Boqi came to Li Qifan's side. Patriarchally, are you okay? He had suffered at Luo Yao's hands before and had some trauma regarding her. Although this was the Li family estate, it was still Huaxia territory. He didn't dare do anything to Luo Yao, so he'd been playing dead just now. If this were in Korea, he would have long ago sent Luo Yao and everyone around her to the king of hell. Li Qifan waved his hand. In fact, by now, he had lost all mood to continue hosting the banquet. So he handed the task to his son, Li Dan. He himself made small talk while quietly slipping away to an empty corner. Arriving at a hidden room in the banquet hall, Li Qifan opened the file and saw contents that nearly made him faint. That crazy girl, where did she get all this? Li Qifan had thought that it was impossible for anyone to know about the things he had done, yet Luo Yao had still found out, and the evidence was irrefutable. He took a deep breath, forcing himself to calm down. It's okay, I still have a chance. The crazy girl didn't expose it on the spot, which proves there's still room for negotiation. He had thought he could make Luo Yao lose face today, but now, before the banquet had even officially started, Luo Yao had unleashed her ultimate move and left. The next time they met, she might be fully equipped with 6 divine items. Difficult, so very difficult. There were still many guests outside. He couldn't just ignore them. Li Qifan returned to the banquet hall, only to hear Wang Ditsong bragging. What on earth did Luo Yao's words mean? Who did the Li family sell out? Wang Ditsong, who knows? After all, you can know a person's face, but not their heart. As long as the benefits are there, anything can be sold. Even selling out the country isn't surprising. Wang Ditsong had an expression of utter indifference. Young Master Wang, your family situation seems a bit precarious. I heard your father is preparing to list 2 more plazas for sale. Wang Ditsong, my Wang family is different from the Li family. We can sell properties, shares, and land, but we will never sell out our country, nor will we betray our partners. Li Qifan happened to walk out just in time to hear Wang Ditsong's remark, and he was immediately put in an awkward position. It seemed it was time to have a word with old Wang and tell him to make his son talk a little less crap outside. At this moment, Luo Yao and the others had already left the estate. This time, no one at the gate dared to block their car. They all scattered to the sides, obediently letting them pass. Some people, you just have to beat them up to make them see reality, Lu Ming remarked with emotion. Luo Yao rested with her eyes closed. Some people won't see reality even after a beating. If getting beaten could make people see reality, there wouldn't be so many different character archetypes. Today's events gave Lin Ran a strange sense of excitement. Was it always this thrilling to go out with Luo Yao? Yesterday in Magic City, they smashed a dining table. Today, they completely reshuffled the branch office. Tonight, they caused a huge scene at the Li family's banquet and walked out swaggeringly. The only loss was the Rolls-Royce emblem, which was still on Li Qifan's head and hadn't been retrieved. Hearing Lu Ming and Luo Yao's reflections, he sighed from the bottom of his heart too. Some people have to die once to see reality. He was talking about himself. If he hadn't died, he wouldn't have known how to love properly. Lu Ming and Luo Yao both looked at Lin Ran, not understanding what he meant by that. Realizing he had misspoken, Lin Ran quickly explained. I mean, people who can't see reality won't learn how to be a decent person until they die once. Lin Ran was still projecting himself. Lu Ming and Luo Yao continued to look at Lin Ran without speaking. Ahem. I mean, they're courting death. Oh, young Master Lin is right. Lu Ming understood this sentence. The car returned to the estate. It was already past 8 in the evening. Lu Ming had already arranged for the estate staff to prepare dinner. After all, at the Li family's place, Lin Ran had flipped the table, so they hadn't been able to eat. Jiang Feihua very thoughtfully led the two to the dining room. The moment they saw the dining table, both of them nodded in satisfaction. Seeing the interaction in their expressions, Jiang Feihua also breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed the meal she had treated Uncle Fu to yesterday had not been in vain. The hosts today were indeed satisfied. This time, the servants served the dishes. Lin Ran was originally going to sit opposite Luo Yao, but unexpectedly, Luo Yao sat directly on Lin Ran's lap. "Ran, feed me." Looking at Luo Yao, who had turned her head to the side, Lin Ran's heart filled with sweetness. The imported ingredients still tasted great. The servants at the side were already prepared to be fed a public display of affection, having had their fill yesterday. But they were still stunned by Lin Ran's actions at this moment, some even blushing. Miss and young Master Lin are too unrestrained. In the hearts of more people, fine, you really don't see us as people, do you? Can I even look up? It's clearly an embarrassing scene. Why does it feel so sweet when they do it? It's probably because of their looks. After all, both Miss and young Master Lin's looks are top tier. Miss and the others are almost full, and I'm almost full too. Jiang Feihua also had her head down. Even she felt the couple's PDA was explosive, but they were satisfied with the table and chairs she had arranged. A glint of cunning flashed in her eyes. Just as she was about to speak, Jiang Feihua stopped herself. Uncle Fu had said not to disturb Miss and young Master Lin when they were eating and not to introduce the dishes. The kitchen had prepared many dishes, so many that even Lin Ran felt it was a bit wasteful. And the table was a bit small, so the dishes had to be served in batches. In the capital city, Uncle Fu would not have prepared things this way. We may be rich, but we don't waste. Next time, just prepare fewer dishes. No need for so many. Yes, young Master Lin. Jiang Feihua finally found a chance to speak. Miss, young Master Lin, how is the taste of the food today? This professional manager was very professional, polite, and well-mannered, but Lin Ran just couldn't bring himself to like her. After his rebirth, Lin Ran had a very important ability. His intuition was usually quite accurate. There was definitely something wrong with this Jiang Feihua. Of course, Lin Ran believed that Luo Yao probably knew this as well. Uncle Fu's arrival could explain everything. He was originally supposed to be looking after the estate in the capital city. Food is fine as long as it's fresh and nutritious. After all, we're not food critics. And my wife has only one requirement for food. At this, Jiang Feihua's eyes lit up. This was a very important piece of information. What requirement? It must be fed by me. With one sentence, Lin Ran completely stumped Jiang Feihua. Although she was over 40, she had never married. As for why, there were no more than 2 reasons. She looked down on those who were inferior to her. She looked down on those who were superior to her. And so, she had been delayed to this age. Even now, in her 40s, she had not lowered her standards for a partner. Now, Lin Ran's repeated direct hits were too much for Jiang Feihua. She finally couldn't take it anymore and muttered in her heart, "What the hell are you showing off?" Of course, she only said it in her heart. Young Master Lin really loves Miss. Since coming to Magic City, this was the only satisfying sentence Luo Yao had heard from her. "Ran, I'm full." Lin Ran had also eaten a lot while feeding her, so he was full too. "Yeah, I'm full too. Shall we go rest?" Luo Yao nodded. She was indeed tired today. Although it wasn't early, it was definitely not good to sleep right after eating, as it was bad for the body. So, in bed, Lin Ran personally gave Luo Yao a massage to aid digestion. At the same time, he also gave her a womb-warming massage. He wasn't a professional. He could only fumble along based on what he learned from short videos. Some might ask, with so much money, why not hire a professional? For a Yandere, it's illegal for others to even look below the head, let alone touch. Seeing the fine beads of sweat appearing on Lin Ran's forehead, Luo Yao felt a pang of heartache. "Ran, that's enough. I feel fine now." Lin Ran looked at his phone. "I don't want to. At least let me finish the whole thing." Although he was tired, being able to massage his wife was a tiring yet happy experience. Besides, he had his own little ulterior motives. "Yao, your skin is so good. It feels good to the touch too. Everything about you is good. So smooth and tender." Listening to Lin Ran's expressions, Luo Yao, lying on her stomach, curved her lips into a beautiful arc. Ran's hands are getting a little restless. If anyone else were touching her like this, they would have long become a corpse. Can't help it. This addictive sensation is just irresistible. Lin Ran massaged her while feeling the silkiness at his fingertips. How deaf and blind had he been in the past, to not cherish such a good wife? Even a perpetual motion machine like Luo Yao was indeed a little tired. Just this one day, Lin Ran had been with her constantly and deeply understood this. She was so comfortable, she felt drowsy and slowly fell asleep. The pain really felt relieved. Being able to lull Luo Yao to sleep with this method was an achievement in itself. Lin Ran thought to himself that he must use this method often in the future, especially during this time in Magic City. The next day, Lin Ran woke up to find Luo Yao still in his arms. This was one of the few times Luo Yao had stayed in bed. It wasn't easy to make her do this. Of course, Luo Yao hadn't gotten up not because she wasn't awake. In fact, she had been awake for a long time. She just couldn't bear to get off Lin Ran. The bed was warm and cozy, as comfortable as the spring sunshine. Seeing Luo Yao still with her eyes closed, Lin Ran thought she was still asleep and didn't disturb her, continuing to lie in bed and carefully observe his beloved. Luo Yao's skin was very good, the kind where you couldn't see a single flaw, even up close. Her breathing was even, and her beautiful eyelashes looked very peaceful. Lin Ran moved closer, their breaths clearly palpable, the distance between their eyes so close you could barely fit a finger. Luo Yao suddenly opened her eyes, startling Lin Ran. Then, Luo Yao lightly kissed Lin Ran. "Good morning, kiss." "Lin Ran, you're doing my job and saying my lines." Luo Yao habitually nuzzled Lin Ran's chest, as if this way of washing her face was very comfortable. "You can do it, so naturally I could do it too. My wife is right. How could my wife be wrong? She just loves me too much. So you were already awake. MMM. MMM. After Luo Yao had nuzzled enough, she stretched out her arms, and Lin Ran naturally picked her up. For the first time, Luo Yao knew that the feeling of staying in bed was so blissful. They didn't know how other lovers got along, but if love were a crime, they would surely be sentenced to a lifetime of solitude. This kind of love only existed in fantasies and sci-fi movies, yet they had achieved it. During breakfast, Lu Ming also arrived. Luo Yao directly had someone prepare breakfast for Lu Ming as well, which made the others envious. What an honor it was to eat with the master and mistress of the house. In fact, Luo Yao was just thinking of immediately exploiting Lu Ming after the meal to save some time and make up for the loss from staying in bed. Don't speak while eating, don't talk in bed applied to others. Luo Yao never had such rules. In fact, if Lin Ran wasn't feeding her, she would eat very quickly due to her anorexia. Of course, the main reason was a habit developed from childhood. When a person is used to snatching food to eat, their speed naturally becomes very fast. When a person is used to snatching food to eat, their speed naturally becomes very fast. In that dark place, as long as it was edible regardless of the taste, you just had to snatch it. Her anorexia developed bit by bit from that time. So much so that even after she became successful, she couldn't muster any interest in food. During this period, Lin Ran had started to make Luo Yao's palate more discerning. And it was precisely because of Lin Ran's efforts that Luo Yao began to have a different view of food. At least it was something that could make Lin Ran proactively be good to her, especially when Lin Ran cooked it himself. The taste was also very delicious. Lu Ming began to report on the day's schedule, and Luo Yao listened while arranging work. Uncle Fu, being sensible, had all the servants leave, and he left as well. Jiang Feihua naturally left too, but she felt uncomfortable. Especially towards this Uncle Fu, her dissatisfaction was growing. "You're a butler from the capital city estate. What right do you have to command the servants on my Magic City estate?" But her face still wore a professional smile, and she said nothing. Lin Ran was the only one who didn't need to leave when Luo Yao discussed work. So he also learned about Luo Yao's schedule for the day. This morning, the assistant team would continue to snipe at Samsung Group, but in the afternoon, this attack would stop, and then Luo Yao would attend a very important bidding. This was the most crucial part of this trip to Magic City. As long as they won this project, the cooperation between Samsung and the three major families would become a joke. Hearing that Luo Yao would be at the estate all morning, Lin Ran was also very happy. "Yao Yao, what do you want for lunch? I'll cook for you myself." For the first time, Luo Yao accurately stated what she wanted to eat. "I want to eat sausage and scrambled eggs, and I also want to drink papaya milk, and I want to eat imported steak too." Lin Ran looked at Luo Yao in some disbelief. He had only asked out of habit, but he didn't expect Luo Yao to actually be interested in food. And a mix of Chinese and Western cuisine. He was a little happy. His wife's anorexia seemed to be improving. Okay, you focus on your work. I guarantee I'll satisfy your request. Luo Yao's love was almost impossible to hide. She gave Lin Ran a reluctant look and stood up to go to work. Lin Ran suddenly spoke up. Can I stay with you? I can't bear to be separated from you. Of course. Wherever I am, you can stand by my side. Lin Ran scratched his head in embarrassment. Actually, I'm fine sitting too. He followed Luo Yao to the office area. Luo Yao didn't say anything, but her heart was filled with joy. Lin Ran stayed with Luo Yao while she worked, and he even took advantage of her occasional breaks to massage her, pound her legs, and feed her snacks. Lu Ming, who had been with Luo Yao for so long, could hardly stand it anymore. She secretly grumbled in her heart. No, I can't be the only one eating this. So, she opened the door between the assistant team and the office and deeply fed the assistant team a big mouthful. When it was about time, Lin Ran returned to the villa to become a house husband. It was the first time Luo Yao had ordered dishes, so he had to be extra careful. The servants in Magic City had never seen Lin Ran cook. They had only seen him cook in the replay of a live broadcast, and as for the taste, it was said that the program team ended up throwing it all away. Now, looking at Lin Ran's movements, he seemed quite skilled. This scene not only impressed the servants, but also the professional chefs. They weren't impressed that Lin Ran could cook, but that someone so rich would personally cook. They just wondered if he also went to the bathroom by himself. Young Master Lin, you're quite professional. Although Lin Ran could cook, there was still some gap compared to professional chefs. Even so, he still received praise from the chef. It wasn't flattery, but a genuine feeling that Lin Ran was quite professional. Lin Ran was also a bit embarrassed, with a real chef assisting him, a non-professional. It's all right. It's mainly because my wife likes to eat what I cook myself. By the way, please prepare that papaya for me. I'll blend it myself later. By the time Lin Ran had prepared all the dishes Luo Yao ordered, Luo Yao had just returned to the villa. When she saw Lin Ran, she suddenly felt a bit selfish. He had cooked so much. Our Ran must be very tired. Lin Ran didn't think too much about it. After figuring things out the night before, he had suddenly let go. Why think so much? Just love Luo Yao boldly in a way that made him happy, which was also the way Luo Yao liked. Dinner is served. Wife, you sit in the dining room and wait for me. I'll be ready in a moment. Luo Yao obediently sat in the dining room. When Lin Ran arrived, he directly lit the candles on the table. It's not evening. Why light candles? Lin Ran. Who says you can only have candlelight at dinner? For every meal I have with you, we can light candles whenever we want. As he spoke, Lin Ran shouted into the air, Smart butler, please turn off all the lights and close the curtains. Yes, master. Having lived here for 2 days, Lin Ran had learned how to use many of the smart home features. Now he felt that the servants here were somewhat of a waste. They did nothing but stand there and received a handsome salary every month. This kind of job was simply a paradise for workers. Before meeting Luo Yao and falling out with the Lin family, Lin Ran had wished for such a work environment and pay. He never expected that after meeting Luo Yao, he would become the one providing the environment and pay for others. This kind of transformation was something he hadn't even dared to dream of before, let alone think about. All the curtains closed automatically, the lights turned off, leaving only the flickering candlelight on the dining table, twisting and dancing, reflecting on their faces. If there were a painter here now, it would be another world-famous painting. Of course, Uncle Fu was also very considerate and recorded this scene, then sent it to Lin Ran. Jiang Feihua frowned, feeling that Uncle Fu was very impolite. Lin Ran, however, was very satisfied with Uncle Fu's action and carefully admired the content he had captured. Lin Ran used chopsticks to pick up a piece of steak and brought it to Luo Yao's mouth. Luo Yao opened her mouth and bit the chopsticks, but her eyes never left Lin Ran's face. The dancing candlelight cast a very beautiful light on their faces. Picture, since everyone has their own image of Luo Yao and Lin Ran, no illustration will be inserted this time. Use the text above to imagine. Lin Ran was shocked. You are actually so good at capturing moments. Uncle Fu chuckled. Young Master Lin, look how handsome I made you look. Now, look at the picture you took of me. Lin Ran nodded. I'll definitely take a better one of you next time. He immediately set the photo as his screensaver. Luo Yao watched Lin Ran's actions the whole time, feeling a warmth in her heart. During this time, even Lu Ming said that she wasn't as cold when she wasn't going crazy. This was all brought to her by Lin Ran. Of course, when she did go crazy, she was still terrifyingly so. After the candlelight lunch, the couple got in the car. Yesterday's Rolls-Royce emblem was broken, so they switched to a new car today. Lu Ming was already in the car, passing documents to Luo Yao on a tablet. There are many companies bidding for the Huaxia New Tech City project this time, but there are only 3 with the real strength to win it. It's either Samsung and the 3 major families, or the collective public plate of the South Huaxia New Chamber of Commerce. Or, of course, the most likely one is us. Luo Yao wasn't concerned about who could win it. She only cared about how much capital they had now and how outstanding their follow-up plans were. A few days ago, we transferred a large amount of funds to the Magic City branch, which has already caused dissatisfaction among the big 4 banks. Luo Yao then opened her eyes. What's there to be dissatisfied about? The government has already approved it. Can they turn the world upside down? Ming lowered her head and said, the head office contacted our finance department today, saying they want to discuss the funding issue with us. Luo Yao scoffed in disdain. Interesting. They want to bargain with us? This time when we go back, we'll apply to register a few banks ourselves and transfer all our external funds over. Then we won't have to consult with them. Luo Yao's style was just that. She didn't give others the right to bargain with her. With her strength, no other capital could compete. Did the big 4 banks have money? Of course, they had more money than Luo Yao. But was that money their own? It belonged to the state. Yet some of the bank presidents below, relying on their little power, wanted to gain more benefits. Luo Yao was determined to say no. Ming frowned. But the government probably won't agree, right? Luo Yao raised an eyebrow. They will. We can generate more profit, taxes will also increase, and it can also drive a larger economy. We'll use this bank specifically for business cooperation, and the major shareholder will be Lin Ran. Lin Ran, at the side, nearly coughed up a mouthful of blood. He was already listening with a racing heart. He had never known the extent of Luo Yao's power and was too lazy to ask. But he had a rough estimate in his mind. He didn't expect to have underestimated it. She could even counterpressure the banks, and even wanted to break away and play on her own. What kind of power was this? And not a small bank. It seemed she wanted to compete with state-owned enterprises for market share. Most importantly, he would be the bank's owner? This wasn't in the script in his previous life. Forget it. Let it be destroyed. This world has finally become something Lin Ran can't understand. Let's call it a Ran Bank. How about that? Lin Ran's face darkened. That name is a bit too direct. People might think I'm being a show-off. Then let's call it One Yao Bank. I think that name is more subtle, Luo Yao continued to suggest. Lin Ran didn't want to persuade Luo Yao anymore, because he couldn't. The bigger and more gifts he received, the more at ease Luo Yao felt. This was the way to open her up. He thought for a moment and nodded. That name is also fine. It's quite direct and can express my love for you. Their conversation caused a magnitude 12 earthquake in Lu Meng's pupils. This was no longer something one would do just because they loved someone. It was as absurd and shocking as cutting off one's own flesh to feed a lover. Lu Meng felt a bit like crying. How she wished she could be as domineering as Luo Yao, just smashing a man down with money. Perhaps this was the true meaning of making money. Aran, when we get to the auditorium later, if you see anyone you don't like, just tell me. I'll take care of them for you. Lin Ran looked at Luo Yao strangely. You're not planning to cause trouble, are you? Who knows? If they don't provoke me, I naturally won't cause trouble. But if they dare to provoke me or bully you, then I'm not to be trifled with. Soon, the car arrived in front of a magnificent and imposing auditorium. Wang Bao showed their identification, and the car, along with the team of bodyguards, entered the parking lot. The people coming here today were not just the rich and powerful, but true giants of the business world and government officials. Luo Yao and the others got out of the car and were led by ushers into the auditorium, which had a dignified yet simple exterior with no slogans or banners. Once inside, the appearance changed instantly. As far as the eye could see, it was filled with business tycoons, and there were many familiar faces. Lin Ran had no worries about this bidding at all, because in his previous life, Luo Yao had successfully won this project and successfully built the tech city. As for how the final construction turned out, Lin Ran didn't know, because it wasn't a fast project. In his previous life, the tech city was not yet completed by the time of his death. But even with only a part of it built, it still became a new city sought after by countless tech giants. The high-tech products and intelligent AI displayed there could be called products of a new era. The project collaborations within the tech city also broke the Guinness record for business cooperation. Even Huaxia's Starlink project was completed there, surpassing the Starlink network of the United States in one fell swoop. In the auditorium, Li Qifan was discussing this bid with Samsung's Park Bo-ki, planning how to win it. Park Bo-ki wanted to enter the Huaxia market, not with mobile phones, but with Samsung's technology. This bid was open to the public, but Huaxiao Enterprises had to hold the majority stake, and foreign-based companies had to give up some profit. This was why a giant like Samsung had to find a partner. This clause was very domineering, but it didn't stop many world-famous companies from being attracted. There was no helping it. The Huaxia market was too big. Luo Yao is here. This time, I believe patriarchally, you will surely avenge your previous shame. We will jointly attack Luo's group from a business perspective. Also, you know the status of my Samsung phones in the international market. As long as this cooperation is achieved, we are willing to give up 50% of the profits to your three major families to let Samsung return to its throne as the king of Huaxiao mobile phones. Park Bo-ki used one hand to constantly gesture at the grand future. Why one hand? Because the other hand was blown up by a phone. It hadn't healed yet. Although the cast was off, his movement was still inconvenient. Chairman Park, I think you should get your hand fixed first before discussing the mobile phone cooperation with us. Also, I heard you want to bring Samsung's other electronic tech products into Huaxia. Although we are partners, this kind of market-grabbing behavior will be met with a lot of backlash. As they were talking, Luo Yao happened to pass by, and Park Bo-ki immediately fell silent. After Luo Yao walked past, he started to speak again. Actually, where did he go? He looked left and right, but couldn't find Li Qifan. Park Bo-ki's face was filled with mild anger. All Huaxiao people are cunning and impolite. It's really infuriating. Sure ball. And Li Qifan had already arrived at the seating area of the Luo's group. He walked up to Luo Yao with his head held high, though, in reality, he was scared to death. But he had to put on an act. After all, everyone knew he had a feud with Luo Yao. If he didn't act hostile, people would see that something was amiss. President Luo, hello. Long time no see. A pleasure to meet you. Li Qifan extended his hand. Luo Yao gave it a cold glance, and Lin Ran stepped forward, blocking Luo Yao and grabbing Li Qifan's hand. Patriarchy is so forgetful. Didn't we just meet yesterday? My wife even crashed through your main gate twice, and I flipped one of your tables. You also framed us for cutting off that person's tongue. Lin Ran genuinely didn't know the woman's name. At this moment, Lu Ming, as a good assistant, habitually reminded him, Lu Shanting. Oh, right, Lu Shanting. After Lin Ran said these words, everyone around turned their heads. Some faces showed anger, some disdain, and some schadenfreude. Li Qifan didn't expect Lin Ran to be so disrespectful to him. There were some misunderstandings yesterday. There's no need for Mr. Lin to keep harping on it, is there? Lin Ran raised an eyebrow. What? Is patriarchy afraid of losing face? Many people here were also present yesterday. Everyone who should know already knows. What are you afraid of? Oh, I get it. You think what people think in their hearts doesn't matter, and how they laugh at you in private doesn't matter, as long as it's not said to your face, right? Do you know what that's called? Self-deception, burying your head in the sand. Lin Ran, happen to dislike hypocritical people like you, so I'm saying it to your face. Do you accept it or not? Li Qifan had originally wanted to ask Luo Yao about those documents, but he didn't expect Luo Yao to say nothing, while this Lin Ran relentlessly insulted him. Yet, Li Qifan didn't dare to do anything to Lin Ran. After all, everyone had seen clearly how well Luo Yao treated Lin Ran. This Lin Ran was practically Luo Yao's lifeline. Li Qifan had confirmed this yesterday. After the banquet, he immediately had someone investigate all the information on Lin Ran and Luo Yao. Although the information was limited, Li Qifan confirmed 2 points. First, he couldn't provoke Lin Ran. Provoking Luo Yao might just make her a business rival, but provoking Lin Ran would make Luo Yao fight him to the death. Second, Lin Ran and Luo Yao were not putting on an act, nor was it some business marriage. The Lin family was not worthy of a marriage alliance with Luo Yao. From information on Luo Yao and Lin Ran, it was clear that the two were definitely a very loving couple. After confirming these 2 points, Li Qifan was also startled. A person who had killed her parents and half of her family's direct line actually had feelings. It was too shocking. Of course, this would also be Luo Yao's weakness. The reason Li Qifan was still holding on and not panicking was because he had grasped this characteristic. He wouldn't touch Lin Ran unless it was a last resort. After all, no one wanted to provoke a lunatic. Mr. Lin is joking. Li Qifan, have been in the business world for many years and have long stopped caring about face. I just feel that we have a misunderstanding. It's better to resolve enmity than to create it. Why must Mr. Lin be so aggressive? Aggressive? I even brought you a gift yesterday, and you're being ungrateful today. A gift? Li Qifan. Did Lin Ran give him a gift? What? You don't remember? Didn't I give you my car's emblem as a hair ornament? Li Qifan's face was filled with mild anger. He admitted he was truly angry. He had been yielding at every turn, yet Lin Ran pressed him relentlessly. Haha, even if Mr. Lin is a true dragon, there's no need to oppress me, is there? After all, this is Magic City. Who do you think you are? I'm your dad. Lin Ran's vulgarity came straight out, and Li Qifan was momentarily stunned. Behind him, Lu Ming couldn't hold it in and let out a puff of laughter. Just as Li Qifan was about to say something, Lin Ran's hand began to squeeze, very hard. Li Qifan cried out in pain. He was a man of letters with money and means, but no physical strength. And Lin Ran, from years of part-time work and his own training, could handle Li Qifan with ease. Luo Yao stood beside Lin Ran and said coldly, "What were you trying to say?" Lin Ran looked down at the pain-distorted Li Qifan. "My wife is asking you a question. Speak up. What's wrong with you?" Li Qifan was Luo Yao's rival and enemy. He could even be considered a foe. That made him Lin Ran's foe as well. So Lin Ran naturally wouldn't be polite. He was no saint. The two bodyguards behind Li Qifan were about to rescue their master when Wang Bao and Xiao Tong blocked them. Li Qifan squeezed out a few words through his distorted expression. "Let go of me." All right. You should have said so earlier. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Li Qifan, "Let go of me. Say it earlier. Why didn't you just say it earlier?" Li Qifan was about to lose it, gritting his teeth. "Let go of me. Say it earlier. Beg me. I beg you. Let go of me." Only then did Lin Ran release his hand in satisfaction. Seeing Lin Ran's domineering look, Luo Yao's eyes were filled with little stars. Li Qifan rubbed his hand, looking at Lin Ran in disbelief. He couldn't imagine Lin Ran would treat him so crudely. This was in the auditorium. "Luo Yao, if there's nothing else, patriarchally, please return to your seat." How could Li Qifan leave? He came here to be seen, to show his stance, and, incidentally, to ask Luo Yao not to report him. "President Luo, don't be so harsh." Luo Yao lowered her voice and whispered. "Want me to be lenient? Simple. You know what to do." Li Qifan was stunned for a moment. Then he understood. He thought to himself, indeed, no one is indifferent to profit. What was the purpose of everything Luo Yao had done? Wasn't it just to get a hold on him? As long as he helped Luo Yao win the project, all problems would be solved. He might even be able to cooperate with the Luo's group. If he could cooperate with Luo's group, that would be great too, even better than with the other two major families and Samsung. This was the real #1 plutocrat, even if she had only just taken the throne. If Luo Yao won the project, her position as the #1 plutocrat would be even more secure, and no one would dare to question her status again. Thinking of this, Li Qifan's mind cleared up considerably. Just then, two other heavyweight figures arrived. The current patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Yao, and the current head of the Wang family, Wang Xiaolin. Li Qifan couldn't bother with other things, and quickly resumed a proud and arrogant posture. "Young Master Lin, let's have a friendly match when we have the chance." Lin Ran, "Damn, you want a match? I can take on 3 of you, 1 for each leg." Wang Xiaolin also walked over, greeted Li Qifan, and then nodded at Lin Ran and Luo Yao. "Now, that's more like it. Look at his attitude. So much better." Lin Ran shot another disdainful look at Li Qifan. Of course, this was also because Wang Xiaolin had been in decline in recent years, which made him no longer arrogant when meeting big shots. But the daring and impulsive streak in his bones was still there, otherwise he wouldn't have signed on to this 3-family collaboration. Regardless of the final outcome, at least he was trying to save the Wandan group. Lu Yao was a very spirited old man. Despite his age, he was radiant. "This must be young Master Lin. My son was insensible yesterday and had a little misunderstanding with you. Please forgive him." Lin Ran knew about this Lu Yao. He was the person among the 3 major families that worried Lin Ran the most. This man was the head of Magic City's #1 family, and a very old-school one at that, said to have a lineage stretching back 1,000 years. How does the saying go? Dynasties come and go, but the aristocratic families are made of iron. Although a guy named Huang Chao killed all other flowers after his bloomed in the late Tang dynasty, those that remained were not to be underestimated. It wasn't just about economic power, but also many unseen things. The foundations of these families, with branches spread across various fields and many outstanding members, had intricate and complex relationships. Wang Xiaolin's so-called family was a fake. This one was the real deal. Although it was now the new socialist Huaxia, it didn't hinder the influence of these people. "Lin Ran, you too, I must say, you are much more polite than the one from the cesspool. Even though you're a major family, I, Lin Ran, am still not afraid." Because you are also my wife's enemy. My wife could defeat you in the last life. You think you can ascend to the heavens in this one?" Wang Xiaolin and Lu Yao were both stunned for a moment, not quite reacting. "What?" From the cesspool, Lin Ran said helplessly. "It's nothing. I just wanted to express Patriarch Lu's and Patriarch Wang's politeness. As for the misunderstanding Patriarch Lu mentioned, it's not really a big deal. After all, I didn't suffer any loss. The one who lost was your granddaughter's tongue, not Lin Ran's." Lu Yao seemed completely unfazed by Lin Ran's subtle jab and turned to look at Luo Yao. "Luo girl, long time no see. Although this old man is your competitor today, I don't wish to damage the relationship between us. In fact, I still admire you very much. To fight your way out in just a few years, and with us being prepared, is impressive." Lu Yao's praise was by no means hypocritical. He genuinely admired Luo Yao. He once even thought of giving the position of family patriarch to whichever of his brats could marry Luo Yao, but Luo Yao completely ignored them. She even broke the bones of one of his younger family members just for touching her. But Lu Yao didn't blame Luo Yao. Instead, he admired her ruthlessness and decisiveness even more. "Luo Yao, what damn relationship? Just by cooperating with those two from your family. I've long wanted to cut them." Lu Yao wasn't angry either. He knew Luo Yao was just talking. Li Qifeng looked mildly annoyed. So they were at least polite to each other, and only he got cursed at? Thinking of this, Li Qifeng's face gradually darkened, and he swore to get his revenge in the future. Samsung's Park Bo-ki suddenly appeared. Although he was a bit afraid of Luo Yao, he couldn't miss the opportunity to meet the patriarch of the Lu family. After all, the main partner this time was the Lu family. Previously, the Lu family had only sent representatives for negotiations and signings, but he hadn't expected the Lu patriarch to come in person today. "Patriarch Lu, I am Park Bo-ki, the head of Samsung." Lu Yao glanced at Park Bo-ki and his inconvenient hand. "Chairman Park, hello. This old man's health is not so good, so I haven't had the chance to meet you. Please forgive me." The Lu family's economic strength was certainly no match for Samsung's. Even if the three major families were tied together, their economic power couldn't compare to Samsung. But the Lu family's influence in Huaxia was exactly what Samsung needed most. For Samsung to enter Huaxia, they really needed this man's nod. "Patriarch Lu is too modest. It should be me who pays you a visit." Luo Yao looked gently at Lin Ran. "Ran, these few old dogs are a bit noisy. Let's take our seats first." "The old dogs." Lin Ran. "Okay." After Lin Ran and Luo Yao left, the gazes over there turned sharp for a moment before they resumed their conversation. Lu Yao, patriarchally, it seems your relationship with Luo Yao is quite good. Li Qifeng, I think your relationship with her is even better. Don't you still have 2 cooperation projects with her? When will you cooperate with my Li family? Lu Yao, haha, of course. Speaking of cooperation, you and Old Wang are a better fit, since your industries have more overlap. Facing Lu Yao's double entendre, Wang Xiaolin didn't fall into the trap. "Not at all. I don't ask for much now. Just being able to survive and not let the tens of thousands of people under me lose their jobs is good enough. If Patriarch Li wants to cooperate, my Wandan group would of course welcome it." Old Wang's self-deprecation was a bit helpless, but it was the truth. The current Wandan group had indeed shrunk a lot. Seeing the lively chat, Park Bo-ki also planned to join in. "Patriarchs, as long as my Samsung can re-enter Huaxia, your businesses will surely go to the next level." Lu, Li, and Wang all gave Park Bo-ki a strange look and then glanced at his hand. That's hard to say. The other business elites really wanted to join their conversation. They could be considered kings in their own fields, but in today's setting, they seemed a bit inadequate, especially when facing the 3 major families, Samsung, and groups like Luo Yao's. When you spoke to them, they would politely reply with a couple of meaningless pleasantries. The impolite ones wouldn't even bother to look at you. It's like going back to your hometown for the new year. Whether you can sit at the main table, which table you sit at, who you talk to, whether you can stand up and say a few words while everyone else quiets down to look at you. It's all already fixed. A person of little importance speaks with little weight. A person of great importance speaks with natural brilliance. As for Luo Yao's side, no one dared to come over for pleasantries. This was the tongue-ripping queen. Amidst the hypocritical chatter, today's event began. Thus, the preliminary bidding for the tech city kicked off. Today was just for announcing the bidding candidates, not for deciding who would immediately win the project. Various enterprises had already submitted their materials in advance, waiting for today's results. Some, even knowing they would be eliminated, would still attend. After all, it was good to come and network. Soon, today's main character appeared on stage. It was a veteran figure of great status from the government. Since this is an urban genre, we will not introduce any political color. All characters are fictional. This was a great figure in the scientific community who had made countless contributions to Huaxia. Her name was Chun Buhou, a name she later chose for herself, meaning no regrets for entering Huaxia, no regrets for science. Her presence at this event was also at the behest of the government. Otherwise, at over 80 years old, there was really no need for her to go through the trouble. Wow, isn't that Elder Chun? Who is Elder Chun? You don't even know Elder Chun? What's your purpose for coming to Huaxia? Officer, I'm reporting him. There's a 500,000 yuan bounty here. There were indeed police officers on site, and quite a few of them. They immediately verified the person's identity, only to find it was a false alarm. But that person was still nailed to the pillar of shame for not even knowing Chun Buhou. And when the police were checking, Lin Ran clearly noticed Li Qifan's body tremble. Lin Ran smiled and said nothing. In fact, he knew that Li Qifan was a traitor. In his previous life, when Li Qifan's scandal broke, it caused a national sensation. This was the Li family, one of the 3 major families of Magic City. No way, bro, you're really from Huaxia? You don't know Elder Chun Buhou? She's the top talent in our Huaxia's scientific community. It's no exaggeration to say that it's because of Elder Chun that our technology was able to catch up with the West in just a few decades. Many of the tech companies present have advanced by building on Elder Chun's achievements. Exactly. She and Elder Su Jiangwo are known as the 2 contemporary heroines. The person who was investigated was very red-faced, feeling extremely embarrassed. It was at this moment that Chun Buhou, with somewhat slow steps, stood on the main stage, but did not sit down. Hello everyone, please be seated. Everyone in the auditorium, including Lin Ran, did not sit. Only Luo Yao remained as steady as a mountain. Towards this Chun Buhou, she only had a cold snort in her heart. On the contrary, Chun Buhou said generously, there aren't so many rules here, and you don't have to worry about the media writing nonsense. Today's meeting has no media participation. With that, Chun Buhou sat down first, giving others the courage to sit down as well. For some reason, Lin Ran felt that Chun Buhou was looking at him from time to time, seemingly paying more attention to him. He shook his head at the thought. What am I to deserve a couple of extra glances from Elder Chun? Luo Yao heard Lin Ran's quiet murmur and was very unhappy. Our Ran is the most important person in the world. Chun Buhou might not be as good as you think. After all, everyone has flaws. Lin Ran was stunned and quickly held Luo Yao's hand even tighter. Just then, Luo Yao frowned. Did you wash your hands? Lin Ran. Lu Ming thoughtfully handed Luo Yao a wet wipe. Luo Yao carefully wiped Lin Ran's palm. This is covered in the old dog's germs. Don't contaminate my Ran. At this moment, Li Qifan was sitting a few seats away on Luo Yao's other side. Coupled with the fact that Luo Yao didn't lower her voice at all, it made Li Qifan extremely embarrassed. Li Qifan. So, I have germs on me, and you don't? Chun Buhou sat on the stage and took out a document. As for why everyone was invited here today, it's because we want to announce the candidates for this bid in a fair and open manner. We had expert groups from the Huaxia Academy and various local expert groups review all of your bidding proposals. A total of 100 experts, and they have all signed confidentiality agreements. As she spoke, the large screen in the auditorium lit up, showing that each company had 0 votes. Next, we will use an open voting method to select the top 3 candidate enterprises, who will then compete in the final round. Then, 100 experts representing their respective teams appeared on the big screen. In fact, there is no absolute fairness in this world, but at least we can achieve relative fairness. Many of you probably recognize these 100 experts. I won't elaborate on the weight their teams carry. The enterprise that successfully wins the project this time will receive the full support of all these expert teams. As soon as Chun Buhou's words fell, the whole hall erupted in applause. The government's way of doing things was fair, unlike some small websites that engaged in all sorts of under-the-table operations when the spots were actually already internally decided. Of course, what surprised everyone even more was the government's approach. The expert groups were not just for voting. More importantly, they would support the Tech City project in the future. This meant that the company with more votes would actually get more support from the expert groups. Those who didn't vote for them would be forced to accept it, as the minority had to obey the majority. As long as a project was won, it must have been favored by the majority of experts, so there wouldn't be a situation where most people were unconvinced. The government's move was brilliant. Moreover, as various research institutions under the government, they had no right to say no. Looking at it this way, the Tech City project was not just a simple money-making venture. The government clearly intended to push this project to a very high level. Some companies were already regretting it. Although they had considered this project important, they had still underestimated its importance. If they had known earlier, they would have definitely joined forces with more companies to bid. In front of everyone, the results came out quickly. Third place, South Huaxia Chamber of Commerce Alliance, 18 votes. Second place, Luo's Group, 28 votes. First place, Magic City Chamber of Commerce, including Samsung Conglomerate, 29 votes. As expected, the top three were indeed these three. Although the Magic City Chamber of Commerce was in first place, more people were shocked by the number of votes Luo's Group received. It's important to know that the biggest difference between Luo's Group and the other bidding enterprises was that the others were all joint bids, while Luo's Group fought alone. The Magic City Chamber of Commerce was built on the foundation of the three major families, with many branches likely exerting influence in various fields. Luo's Group was just one person, yet it still made it into the top three, which was truly terrifyingly impressive. And it was only a one-vote difference. Was this one vote important? As long as they were shortlisted, the final decision would be made by the government. So who would get was really hard to say. Some were happy, some were sad. Luo Yao was not surprised by this result. She was determined to win this bidding project. As long as she won this project, she could lie flat in the future. After this project was completed, she could retire with Lin Ran. Congratulations to the three bidding enterprises above. Those who were not selected need not be discouraged. To thank you for your support, we will open a door of convenience for the unsuccessful enterprises. In the future, if you encounter any difficulties, we will help as much as we can within the capacity of the Huaxia Academy of Sciences. This was also some compensation from the government for the losers. The unsuccessful enterprises also felt much better. I declare that the three enterprises will supplement their proposals and prove their strength and determination within 3 days. We will select the winner through a vote. The final result will be announced through official channels in 5 days. To ensure that the project can proceed normally after the bid is won, we need to verify your funds. Please consolidate all your funds into your bidding public account within 3 days. If you fail to win the bid, your funds will be returned to the original path in 5 days. If you win the bid, this fund will remain in the account for project use. Chun Buhou added some more rules before announcing the end of today's event. To be honest, this was not the first time Lin Ran had participated in a bidding. He had been to these occasions with his mother when he was a child. But this was the first time he had seen such a domineering bidding process. And the process was very different from ordinary bidding, very special. They even had to prepare at least 10% of the project's funds. This was a multi-trillion level project. 10% would be hundreds of billions in funds. Even a conglomerate with a market value of 5 trillion couldn't produce so much capital. But the scary thing was that Luo Yao could. At this moment, Lin Ran had a new concept of Luo Yao's assets. No wonder the 100 billion limit black card she gave him was just pocket money. He used to think it was an exaggeration, that it was because Luo Yao loved him too much and wanted to give him a lot. Now, it really was just pocket money. Yao, I've never asked because I was afraid you'd think I was only with you for your money, but I'm really not. I'm just curious, how much money do you actually have? Luo Yao. Ran wants to know. Lin Ran nodded. I like money. My dream used to be to count money until my hands cramped. Later I discovered that when you have too much money, it really is just a number. Luo Yao. Actually, it's not that much. The funds this time are already all that Luo's Group can provide without affecting operations. If this money is gone, then we'll only have the cold, hard numbers in my private account left. Private account? A few numbers? Yes, mine your private assets. Not much, just a cold few hundred billion, plus a few dozen mansions, villas, and estates, and a few hundred luxury cars. Nothing else. If that happens, we'll just go back to being poor. Lin Ran swallowed hard. Do you have some misunderstanding about what being poor means? Although Lin Ran didn't know the cash flow of a large conglomerate, his intuition told him that in this world, besides the government, only Luo Yao could come up with so much money. Even many countries couldn't come up with that much. This was simply too exaggerated. Is that so? But our Ran likes money, so I have to earn it. I want to earn the most money in the world for you. Lin Ran. Yao, don't work too hard. The wealth you've accumulated has already surpassed that of many countries. No private enterprise in the world can come up with this much money. The fact that the government hasn't talked to you yet is all thanks to our Huaxia's kindness. They have. Don't worry, there's no problem with our money. We can spend it freely. Lin Ran. All right, then I want to know, can I buy whatever I want? Luo Yao nodded. Lin Ran suddenly felt this world was so ridiculous. And here he was, painstakingly starting a business. What the hell for? In this situation, why start a business? Maybe you should just package up the Luo Yao Group and give it to old Wu and just laze around and love Luo Yao. Right now, without Luo Yao's money, Lin Ran was a pauper. His money was invested in the library, the school, the Su Ran Group, and the Luo Yao Group, and he had yet to see any return. He was originally thinking of waiting for the year-end dividend to buy a birthday gift for Luo Yao. But the little bit of money he'd get was like an ant in front of Luo Yao. Of course you can. What does our Ran want to buy the most? What do you want to buy the most? Lin Ran thought to himself, no. He still had to do what he had to do. It didn't matter how much he earned. Whatever he gave to Luo Yao was from his heart. Wasn't that his original intention? Stay true to the original aspiration and forge ahead. The question of what I want to buy depends on what you want the most. Besides, the thing I want to buy can't be bought with money. What is it that money can't buy? Luo Yao asked with confusion. Your love for me. It can't be bought for any amount of money. Lu Ming lowered her head, thinking, young Master Lin, this is a public place, and not just any public place. What are you saying? Lin Ran didn't care about these things. He had completely let himself go, indifferent to any occasion or time. Luo Yao wrapped her arms around Lin Ran's neck. If her period wasn't here, she really wanted to force herself on Lin Ran on the spot. My love doesn't need to be bought. You will always have it. Even though he knew the answer, he was still moved to tears. He wanted to kneel on the ground and be Luo Yao's dog. Woof, woof, woof. Some people always say, I'm Luo Yao's little puppy. Actually, I want to say to those who look down on me, what's so bad about being a dog? Meanwhile, the three major families, including Samsung Group and the people from the South Huaxia Chamber of Commerce, had all gathered near the exit of the main stage. They wanted to have a few words with Chun Buhou up close, to make an impression, hoping to gain a slight advantage in the upcoming competition. Even the patriarchs of financial clans found it difficult to meet a tech giant like her, and even if they did, they had to be respectful. In Huaxia, disrespecting heroes was never allowed. Even those unsuccessful enterprises were eager to try. Although they had been eliminated, it didn't mean they weren't strong. Any one of them, picked out at random, had a frighteningly high net worth. Without relying on Luo Yao, Lin Ran would be the poorest one here. Now, only the two of them sat motionless, with no intention of trying to make an impression. The reason Luo's group could get so many votes wasn't because of connections, but because of a genuinely brilliant proposal and an unattainable level of strength. Strength was also an important criterion for the government's assessment. The three major families, with their strong economic power, still had to join forces to bid, and even then, it was just barely enough. Fortunately, they had Samsung. Samsung was the big spender that contributed the most money for the smallest stake, yet they still had to desperately squeeze their way in. The South Huaxia New Chamber of Commerce was a joint effort of many large enterprises, plus the investment injection from American capitalists, which allowed them to bid together. This showed just how much money this tech city would burn. And Luo Yao, all by herself, had the qualification to bid. The strength of the number one plutocrat was terrifyingly impressive. Security guards blocked the crowd. Everyone, Elder Chun is old and a bit tired. She won't be receiving guests. We apologize. Unable to see Elder Chun, those people could only slowly retreat as staff began to organize the dispersal. People from the South Huaxia Chamber of Commerce usually just nodded slightly in acknowledgement as they passed Luo Yao, without saying much. In contrast, the people from the three major families all walked towards Luo Yao, clasping their hands in congratulations. Haha, I didn't expect President Luo to almost defeat our three major families of Magic City with her own strength. It really gave us a scare. The word almost was emphasized with particular clarity, a form of congratulation mixed with mockery. The meaning was clear. Even if it's just by one vote, you're still not as good as us. But the pressure was also evident. They hadn't expected Luo Yao to be just one vote behind. This one vote was both a matter of face and a source of pressure. Luo Yao didn't care about these things. As long as she was shortlisted, it was enough. I should also congratulate you. A 4-on-1 fight almost got turned around. Don't get team wiped in the end. Seeing Luo Yao so full of thorns, Lu Yochi turned the topic to Lin Ran. Little friend Lin, if you have time, you can visit my Lu family estate. My Lu family would welcome you very much. Lin Ran sneered with disdain. Then I'll have to practice my kung fu first. The three major families? My dog-beating staff technique has gotten rusty. I need to refamiliarize myself with it. Lin Ran didn't humor them at all. Li Chifan was starting to lose his composure. You dare to call Patriarch Lu a dog? Lin Ran had a look, of course. The way you all were just now really looked like a pack of dogs. Lin Ran, was referring to the three major families' behavior of fawning over Chun Buhou. What a pity. Not only did you not get to see her, but you also got a cold shoulder. It's hilarious. As soon as he said this, the faces of the three major families turned ugly. Even a smiling tiger like Lu Yao was having a hard time holding it in. As for inviting me to your home, may I ask, is your house big? Lin Ran cleaned his ear, indicating he was all ears. When it came to this, Lu Yao had a lot to say. Families like the Wangs, the Lis, and even Luo Yao had manors and villas. But his Lu family had a whole family territory. Because the family was large enough, the population was thriving. If you thought it was just a village, you would be wrong. In that village, even the most useless Lu family member had their own villa. It was a real power play. Our Lu family village is indeed quite large, and it's all natural scenery. There are 100-year-old buildings everywhere. The grounds of Lu family village are paved with ancient wood, and the villas are also. Lin Ran held up a hand to stop him. Stop it. Anyone who didn't know would think you're a real estate agent. What are you showing off here? We all know what kind of people we are, so why pretend? And you invite us to your Lu family village? Aren't you afraid I'll burn it down? At this moment, Lin Ran was just trash-talking. He didn't expect that not long after, when he appeared at the Lu family village, it would truly be a sea of fire, with thick smoke billowing into the sky. Lu Yao found that Lin Ran had a great deal of hostility towards him. The reason he wanted to talk more with Lin Ran was still because of Luo Yao. He was not the same kind of person as Li Qifan. His style was more meticulous and serious. He seemed like a smiling tiger, but was actually a shrewd person. His understanding of Lin Ran was much more detailed than Li Qifan's. But it was precisely because he understood that he was angry. A son from a bottom-tier family who was not favored. To be able to gain Luo Yao's favor was already a blessing of 3 lifetimes. Instead of keeping his tail between his legs, he dared to be so arrogant. If I give you face and you don't take it, then I won't give it. Otherwise, you'll really think the Lu family is a pushover. Since young Master Lin is unwilling, then forget it. It makes my good intentions seem like I'm casting pearls before swine. With that, Lu Yao snorted coldly and prepared to leave. Oomph. A brat who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Lin Ran was important, but not to the point where he could repeatedly trample on the face of the Lu family patriarch. If I give you face and you don't take it, then I won't give it. Just then, our Samsung head, the one-handed Park Bo-ki, saw the turn of events. He couldn't offend Luo Yao and Huaxia, but that didn't mean the Lu family couldn't. Mr. Lin, do you look down on our patriarch, Lu? This is the foremost family in Magic City, not someone a guy like you can afford to offend. He invited you as a guest, and not only did you not appreciate it, but you even dared to speak so wildly. If you kneel down and apologize to Patriarch Lu now, I believe Patriarch Lu will not stoop to the level of a child like you. Lin Ran was instantly dumbfounded, looking at Park Bo-ki in disbelief. He couldn't imagine that after dealing with Lin Tianba, there would be an even bigger master. What? The FCK? Just as Lin Ran was about to activate a skill, Luo Yao stepped forward. How dare this old dog try to bully Ran? She'd show them. Part Bok Gi, you dare make my man kneel? You got some nerve. Part Bok Gi, what nerve? Luo Yao sent a kick flying, and Part Bok Gi instantly curled up. Of course, Luo Yao had kicked him in the stomach, but she was so fast that no one had time to react. By the time they did, Part Bok Gi was already on the ground, unable to get up. Ugh! Part Bok Gi groaned in pain. Luo Yao had only kicked him once, which was already a very light punishment. Remember this. Keep your head down in China, or you won't get the chance to go back to Korea. Only then did the others react, quickly moving away from Luo Yao, afraid she would go crazy and attack them. This was official territory, and regulations forbade bringing large numbers of bodyguards, so everyone only had 1 or 2 assistants with them. If a fight broke out, no one here would be a match for this madwoman. Although they hadn't tried, they were utterly convinced. Judging from the speed and power of Luo Yao's move just now, even professional security guards would be certain of their swift demise. Damn it, what was with this woman? How is she so strong? Listen up, you old dogs. You can provoke me, and at worst, I'll cripple you. But if you provoke my man, then you can just wait to die. Luo Yao knew that starting a fight might put her at a disadvantage. After all, she didn't want to expose Lin Ran to danger. But her domineering declaration was not just for show. She wanted to let them know just how important Lin Ran was to her. If you want to bully him, you have to ask me for permission first. Another reason was that things had already reached this point. The whole country knew Lin Ran was her lover, and it was inevitable that some people who couldn't see the situation clearly would always want to cause trouble for him. No matter who you are, if you want to touch Lin Ran, first see what his wife's name is. The heads of the three major families looked grim, their faces burning with humiliation. No matter what, Park Bok-ji was their partner, and Luo Yao had kicked him to the ground right in front of them. Wasn't that a complete show of disrespect? At this moment, official security had also separated the three major families from Luo Yao, but they didn't dare to do anything to her. Lin Ran loved Luo Yao's domineering nature. It was something he had once hated and feared most, yet now it had become his shield. "Hey Ran, let's go." "Okay." Lu Yao's voice turned icy. President Luo is certainly domineering, but to just hit someone and leave like this, isn't that showing a little too much disregard for us and the officials? There weren't many people left in the auditorium, but those who remained were all watching the scene with wide eyes. At the same time, a small, exquisite, jet-black object appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Only the tip, pointed directly at Lu Yao, was visible. Anyone slightly farther away couldn't see it clearly, but Lu Yao and his group broke out in a cold sweat. The security guards were all stunned. "Patriarch Lu, you want to stop me? Do you have what it takes?" Lu Yao swallowed hard. He didn't dare to bet on whether Luo Yao would let Lu Ming open fire. "Not at all, not at all. I just wanted to catch up. If President Luo wants to leave, I naturally won't stop you." Luo Yao rolled her eyes. "TCH, and I thought you were so tough." Luo Yao domineeringly led Lin Ran out of the auditorium. From that moment on, it signified the official start of this unadorned business war. The remaining members of the three major families and those who hadn't left the auditorium all looked at each other in dismay. "Patriarch Lu, why can Luo Yao bring that kind of thing here? Isn't your China a barbecue-free zone?" Park Bok-ji had finally recovered. Wang Xiaolin explained the reason. The Luo Group is very special in China. They control a lot of important official technology and have certain privileges. Lu Yao's gloomy voice followed. "And Luo Yao can take self-defense measures on the grounds that we are endangering the security of China's high-tech technology." How shameless and tyrannical. They were all part of the small group at the top of the pyramid. Yet Luo Yao was the most special one. Besides envy, there was more jealousy. Backstage, Chun Buhou also heard the report from his subordinates and shook his head helplessly. "This kid, just like his mother, is so troublesome. I really don't like him." As for Luo Yao, using the privileges granted by the officials as a tool for her wanton behavior, I don't like that either. In the car, Lin Ran was rubbing Luo Yao's shoulders and massaging her legs. "Wifey, you're V587, the #1 heroine of all women. My admiration for you is like a torrential river, flowing endlessly." He didn't know when it started, but Lin Ran had gradually fallen in love with this feeling of being protected by his wife. Luo Yao pouted, a little sulky. "I just couldn't stand the way they bullied you. Especially that Park Bok-ji, daring to make you kneel. If I don't bankrupt Samsung, I'm not your wife." Lin Ran immediately broke into a bright smile. "That's not necessary. Whether Samsung goes bankrupt or not, you're still my, Lin Ran's wife. The reason they treat me like this is actually rooted in their fear of you. Whether it's politeness or hatred, it's all because they're afraid of you." Was Lin Ran right? Of course, he was, and Luo Yao knew it too. "I know, I understand the logic, but I'm still so angry. I didn't get to perform well, just now. Next time I see the 3-3 alliance, I'll beat them so hard they won't know which way is north." Lin Ran? What alliance? Samsung and the three small families. The 3-3 alliance. Everyone was speechless. What kind of lame joke was that? Not funny at all. Only Lin Ran smiled happily, feeling that his Luo Yao was simply too cute. What ruthless and cruel. Where? Okay, next time we see them, I'll beat them up with you. My dear wife, don't be angry anymore. Tell me what you want to eat, and I'll personally cook for you. Speaking of which, Lin Ran suddenly remembered something and added, "This isn't a reward for you. It's because I want to see you eat happily. You have to voice your kindness to others. If you hide it away, it's as good as not doing it. If you say it, the person you love will feel comfortable and understand your heart. Even if they say, 'I'm so done with you,' always needing praise for every little thing. Can you really say their heart isn't happy?" "Iran, how about we eat out today?" It was getting a little late, and Luo Yao didn't want Lin Ran to go to the trouble. "Is the food outside even edible? The powder isn't real powder, and the noodles aren't real noodles. Be good. I'll make whatever you want to eat." Lu Ming rolled her eyes, and even Xiao Tong and Wang Bao in the front seats felt their mouths twitch. "So the stuff we eat daily isn't fit for human consumption? All right then, I'll listen to Ran. Suddenly, Lu Ming let out a cry of alarm. Oh my God, Luo Yao. Is this your first day working for me? What's with that blood-curdling scream? Lu Ming immediately explained. I'm sorry, President Luo. Look at this. Lu Ming passed the tablet over. Luo Yao took it and was also taken aback. On it was a profile of a person. Very interesting. All right, continue to investigate this more deeply. See what's really going on with this woman. Understood. Even if Luo Yao hadn't said it, Lu Ming was planning to dig deeper. A woman with such a background working at a Luo Group branch. What on earth was she planning? The car returned to the manor. Zhang Feihua was standing in front of the villa to greet them. Luo Yao glanced at her, but didn't say much. Entering the villa, a servant naturally prepared slippers for them. When they reached the kitchen, Luo Yao wanted to cook with Lin Ran. Lin Ran agreed, but didn't let Luo Yao touch any cooking utensils, only letting her do some prep work. Time passed, and a table of delicious-looking and fragrant dishes was served. The two of them looked at the food and fell silent for a moment, simultaneously glancing at Fu Bo. Fu Bo's eyes darted. Young Master Lin, Miss, do you need someone to critique your culinary skills? Nearby, Zhang Feihua was already feeling uncomfortable watching Fu Bo's harmonious relationship with his masters. At this moment, she suddenly felt her opportunity had arrived. I'll do it. This time, although Luo Yao's gaze was still icy, she unexpectedly nodded. Zhang Feihua was overjoyed. She couldn't believe Fu Bo wouldn't cherish such a bootlicking opportunity. How on earth did he get the position of butler? All I have to do is eat it, and regardless of whether it's good or not, I'll launch a verbal assault of gorgeous praise. No one dislikes being praised, right? Even if she's Luo Yao. And my bootlicking skills are far more than simple flattery. It's time to let Fu Bo experience the art of language. She properly picked up a small piece of stir-fried chicken with her chopsticks, placed it on a small plate, and took an elegant bite. Zhang Feihua was instantly stunned. It wasn't just good, it was beyond her imagination. She had assumed that Luo Yao, from a prestigious family, and Lin Ran, who had lived a life of luxury, couldn't possibly make good-tasting food. Just making it look good would have been impressive enough. The result was far beyond her expectations. I have to say, the stir-fried chicken made by the Miss and young Master Lin is truly the best I have ever had. The fragrant and numbing taste lingers on the palate, and the heat and seasoning are just right. Eating this kind of dish would make anyone happy. If a patient with depression had a bite of this, I believe they would be happy for a long time. Not only is it delicious, it can also improve one's health. Luo Yao's gaze was like a knife. Have you said enough? Zhang Feihua froze and instantly lowered her head. If you've said enough, try the others. Zhang Feihua didn't dare to disobey. She tried the other dishes, each bite proper and elegant. She had thought that perhaps Lin Ran was just skilled at this one dish, but to her surprise, every single dish was exceptionally delicious. In her capacity as a professional manager, she had tasted plenty of fine cuisine, but she was still captivated by Lin Ran's skill. It was no less than that of any professional chef. Zhang Feihua was not exaggerating at all. She genuinely found the food delectable. But after she tasted such delicious food, they wouldn't let her praise it. Why? Didn't they let her taste it precisely to get her feedback? After tasting everything, Zhang Feihua smiled politely. Miss, young Master Lin, the food is very good. You can eat now. She knew that saying too much might annoy Luo Yao, so she expressed her feelings in the simplest terms. That couldn't be wrong, right? What she didn't expect was that after she finished speaking, the host didn't pick up their chopsticks. Even Fu Bo just looked at her calmly. Meeting the gazes of the three people, Zhang Feihua began to feel a change within her. She grew worried. Did I do something wrong again? Or did they discover something? She thought they would say something, but all three remained silent, just staring at her for a full 5 minutes. Zhang Feihua was about to break. Who could withstand the gaze of these three people and not be afraid? Cold sweat began to form on her brow. She considered whether she should kneel, confess, and admit the truth. The cold sweat dripped more and more, until Zhang Feihua felt something was wrong. It was as if she really couldn't bear their gazes anymore. She was about to faint from being stared at, and then she really did fall to the ground. Miss, young Master Lin, I think I'm sick. Fu Bo had a look of, I knew it. Lin Ran sighed. Luo Yao said coldly, send her to the hospital. The manor had a private doctor, but that was for the master service. There was nothing wrong with Luo Yao sending Zhang Feihua to the hospital. After Zhang Feihua was sent away, Lin Ran looked helpless. Yao, this ability of yours is terrifying. I watched you prep the vegetables step by step, and I was the main chef, yet we still sent someone to the hospital. How on earth did you do it? Luo Yao was silent for a moment. Actually, she didn't know either. Last time in Kyoto, when Fu Bo collapsed, she even had the food sent to the quality inspection department, and the result was always the food is fine. But people just couldn't eat it. Maybe heaven sent Iran to love me, so I don't need to cook? Luo Yao could actually make this kind of joke. It was a rare sight for Lin Ran. He smiled and said, "You're right. From now on, I'll cook for you. You don't have to lift a finger, just wait to eat." To ensure their safety, they could only choose to eat the dishes that Luo Yao hadn't touched. A sound came from Fu Bo's earpiece, and his brow furrowed. Young Master Lin, Miss Lin Tianba and his son have started a live stream. Lin Ran was shocked. What the hell? Who's live streaming? Lin Ran suspected he had misheard. Lin Tianba and Lin Jian have started a live stream, including Lu Yao. All three of them are on camera. Lin Ran almost burst out laughing. Times have really changed. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry thinks they can make a living as an internet celebrity. Huh? Project the stream. It'll be perfect to watch while I eat. Even Luo Yao chewed the food in her mouth carefully, feeling that it had some flavor now and wasn't so repulsive. Fu Bo successfully projected the live stream onto the dining room screen and dimmed the lights. As long as the netizens have any sense, Lin Tianba is going to get flamed into oblivion, right? The moment the stream appeared, Lin Jian's face was revealed. Then, a wretched-looking room came into view. To prevent anyone from discovering his location, Lin Jian had specially arranged the room. Not a bit of the window was showing, and no outside scenery could be seen. The stream had already been on for over 10 minutes, starting right when Jiang Feihua was taste-testing the food. Try to get famous by being infamous, and also trying to sell a sob story? Lin Ran saw through Lin Jian's goal at a glance. Interesting. I like to see what kind of tricks they can pull. In a live stream, Lin Jian had a sorrowful expression. On the bed behind him lay a listless Lin Tianba, and next to him was Lu Yao, constantly wiping Lin Tianba's face. Everyone, my father has always been a brave and resilient man. He has sacrificed so much for this family, and I feel so sorry for him. Unfortunately, as his son, I don't even have the ability to send my father to the hospital. Lin Jian had already explained Lin Tianba's situation, so the netizens knew he was injured. My father's 4 limbs are all broken. I don't know how it happened, and he won't say when I ask. All I know is that he came back from Lin Ran's Dongtian manor like this. Sigh. This is not my brother's fault. If anyone is to blame, it should be me. As Lin Jian spoke, he squeezed out a couple of drops of eye drops. Meanwhile, on the screen, Lu Yao was continuously wiping Lin Tianba's face, appearing very virtuous. A look at the bullet comments revealed a tragic sight. They were all cursing them, though, of course, many people also expressed their own opinions. Deeply hidden blue. Wait, is Lin Jian implying that Lin Ran did all this? If so, I want to say well done. All our slaves, putting aside who did it, it was really well done. Actually, we all know it was probably done by a patient with a transient acute psychosis, since Lin Ran did tell them to turn off the stream at the time. Saint of leftover men and women. The psychosis was just Lin Ran's weapon. Can't you see that? Although Lin Tianba is injured, he's so happy. Look at Lu Yao's virtuous appearance. Lin Tianba's face is about to be rubbed raw. Eat shit, my love. Does Lin Jian think the internet has no memory? How dare someone like this start stream? Can any dog become an internet celebrity now? Zhang Dada, where you say something, Zhang Dada? Can't you do something about the live streaming circle? Heavenly King covers the Earth Tiger. I know Lin Tianba's wife. Her name is braised chicken with mushrooms. I eat that dish often. Lin Ran found it to be great entertainment for his meal. Eating while watching made the food taste even better. Luo Yao, on the other hand, had a grim expression until Fu Bo coughed lightly. Lin Ran realized he had already eaten more than half a bowl of rice. But when he looked at Luo Yao, she had only taken a few bites at the beginning and hadn't eaten anything since. Oh my God, how could I get so carried away? I was so engrossed in the stream that I neglected my wife, who hasn't eaten. Lin Ran immediately started feeding her. Anyone could go hungry, but not his wife. Anyone could suffer, but not his love. Luo Yao went nom. Choo choo choo. Iran, you like watching this so much? Do you want me to capture them and have them perform breaking stones on their chest for you? Lin Ran shook his head. Watching their miserable state occasionally whets my appetite, but watching too much is just disgusting. While Luo Yao and Lin Ran were having a loving dinner, the Lin family was eating steamed buns on their live stream. For the debut stream, to look miserable, Lin Jian was personally eating a steamed bun. He took a bite and frowned. Why were all steamed buns not the same? The ones he used to eat were so delicious, with a milky fragrance and a great texture. But the bun in his hand now was so hard to eat. One bite, and it was so hard it crumbled. Lin Jian was a bit puzzled, but forced himself to swallow it, quickly grabbing a can of Red Bull to wash it down. My dear friends, I will definitely get my father's legs cured. I will definitely help my father stand up again. Believe in me. Support me. Alarming the nunnery. Still drinking fucking Red Bull? Is this some new kind of sob story? Wife says she got caught gambling. Lin Jian is just a kid. What did he do wrong? I'll send you a gift. A big slap across the face. Please present your face to receive it. Author is a tomato beast of burden. So many people in the stream, and no one is sending gifts? Is it because you're all broke? Remember to generate power with love. Why are half the people in this 50,000 viewer stream so hostile towards the Lin family? What about the other half? Do you not have keyboards? After Lin Jian started his stream, he quickly gained followers and the number of viewers grew rapidly. From a base of 0 to 50,000 viewers, it took him less than half an hour. Other than the former Lin Ran, no one had ever achieved this growth rate. I really didn't expect so many family members to come and see me. I'm truly touched. Lin Jian knew that these people weren't here for him, but because of Lin Ran's fame. He didn't explicitly say that Lin Ran had caused their current situation, but that was the meaning he conveyed. Every sentence avoided mentioning Lin Ran, yet every sentence blamed Lin Ran. Why didn't he dare to say it outright? Because he knew it was useless. The man's wife was Luo Yao, who could solve any problem. Thinking of this, Lin Jian grew angry again. On what grounds did Lin Ran deserve to be loved so much by Luo Yao? Even if they were childhood sweethearts, wasn't his status as the heir to the Lin family enough to compete? With 50,000 people in the stream and no one sending gifts, Lin Jian finally couldn't wait any longer. Family, we're going to start a PK battle. I hope my family will support me. There was more than one way to monetize a stream. If you don't send gifts, others will. Even if no one sends anything, I can still sell some products. As the PK mode started, someone quickly connected. When the person on the other side saw a stream with 50,000 viewers, he was stunned. When he saw who was streaming, he was even more stunned. And when Lin Jian saw the person on the other side, he was also stunned. The person opposite him was none other than one of Lu Rushue's simps, Shernancy. The last time Shernancy was arrested for spreading rumors, he was detained for many days. After his release, he behaved himself but still hated Lin Ran. But then the online sentiment reversed again and again, and eventually Shernancy realized that he was the clown. Coupled with his deeper understanding of Lin Ran's experiences online, Shernancy suddenly felt that he had been very bad, like a villain. Thinking back to how he used to follow Lin Jian to bully and ostracize Lin Ran in high school, he wanted to slap himself. So, he chose to turn over a new leaf. He wanted to apologize to Lin Ran, but never had the chance. To be precise, it was impossible to even see Lin Ran. It was only then that he realized how vast the gap between him and Lin Ran had become. The fact that he was only detained and fined was truly thanks to Lin Ran's mercy. Or rather, thanks to Lin Ran treating him like a fart and forgetting about him after letting him go. Lin Jian, why are you streaming? Seeing Shernancy, Lin Jian felt a mix of embarrassment and hatred. The two of them had fought before, with Lu Rushue trying to break it up, shouting, "Stop fighting." Now, it was a meeting of enemies. Relying on the advantage of his large number of viewers, Lin Jian immediately issued a challenge. Shernancy, since we've run into each other, let's have a PK. Shernancy looked like he had eaten shit. He was just a small-time streamer. He had told Lu Rushue he was in business, and he wasn't lying. He really was. But he was faking about making a lot of money. After all, someone who was truly making money wouldn't be driving an eighth-hand, water-damaged Mercedes. People who make money never say they've made money. Take Luo Yao, for example. Will she go around showing off how rich she is? But the whole country knew she was rich. It was the ones who weren't doing well who would claim they were making bank, putting on a brave face. But a facade is just a facade. Only they knew their own suffering. The reason Shernancy was streaming was to sell his overstocked, unsellable products. PK? I'll PK you, Mom. Are you worthy? I only have a few dozen people in my stream, and it's already not easy to get them to buy some of my stuff. And you want to trick my family into spending money? Why don't you just go die? Shernancy and Lin Jian used to have a decent relationship, but ever since the affair with Lu Rushue was exposed, Shernancy truly felt that he had been trying his best to eat shit in the past. The key was, he didn't even get to eat the shit. So his hatred for Lin Jian was even greater now, more than when they had fought before. Lin Jian hadn't expected Nancy to be so hostile towards him. They'd been fine before, even after the fight. What's a little fight between young men? Isn't that normal? After thinking for a moment, he understood. It must be because of Lu Rushua. Fine if you're scared. Just then, my master is Luo Yao entered Nancy's livestream. My master is Luo Yao. Fight him. Seeing Lin Ran enter the stream, Nancy was momentarily stunned. This ID, it could be said that almost no one with an internet connection in the entire country didn't recognize it. He suddenly brimmed with confidence. Looking at Lin Jian, he said, "Fine, I'll PK you. You say what happens if I lose." Lin Jian, "You say." Nancy sneered, unable to hide his contempt. "The loser jumps off a building." Lin Jian was stunned, unsure if he had heard correctly. "What did you say?" "I said whoever loses jumps off a building. If you don't jump, you're a turtle bastard. Your son will be born without an asshole. You'll be cheated on every day for the rest of your life. Your parents and whole family will die. Your maternal grandparents will go to Africa to do hard labor. And your paternal grandparents. Never mind about them." Nancy suddenly remembered that Lin Jian's paternal grandparents were also Lin Ran's. But then he immediately remembered that Lin Jian wasn't Lin Tianba's biological son. May your paternal grandparents be buried deep underground and never rise again. Do you dare? Lin Jian's face darkened, but thinking the Nancy's stream only had a few dozen viewers, he immediately agreed. "Fine, if you want to play, I'll play with you. Don't be a coward when it's time to jump." And so, the PK between the streamers began. Lin Ran, Fu Bo, send him a carnival and see what happens. Fu Bo sent Nancy a carnival, and Nancy immediately expressed his thanks. "Thank you for the support, Brother Lin." With Lin Ran on his side, victory was guaranteed. What could Lin Jian possibly do to fight him? Lin Ran, Fu Bo, Nancy must win this PK. Fu Bo smiled. "Young Master Lin, actually, we won't lose even if we don't do anything." Lin Ran? Look at Nancy's stream. At this moment, countless people were flooding into Nancy's stream because Lin Ran was there. The ID "My Master is Luo Yao" was now the hottest ID on the entire internet. Everyone knew it was the husband of the #1 tycoon. Is it easy to earn money? Lin Ran, what are you doing here? What's going on? Oh, I get it. He wants Lin Jian to jump off a building. Typing until midnight every day. I came to this stream specifically to send gifts to the opponent, but I didn't expect to see a god-tier whale here. Young Master Lin, do you think I still have a chance to succeed? Letting readers down with hiatuses again. Came over from Lin Jian's stream. I'm going to send gifts. I want to see Lin Jian jump off a building. This punishment is awesome, streamer. Nancy was stunned by the sudden flood of traffic. Had his fortune finally arrived? He had never dreamed that this fortune would be given to him by Lin Ran. The Lin family's cast-off that he once looked down on the most. Many netizens were sending gifts. They weren't big, but there were a lot of them. Looking at Lin Jian's side, there were even more gifts. All of them were free hearts. Lin Ran was amused when he saw this, thinking that the netizens had finally seen reality. It wasn't just the netizens. Lin Jian also looked grim. He couldn't believe that in a stream of 50,000 people, not a single person had sent a gift. This was too wrong. Even if a dog was on the screen, it wouldn't be like this. This was 50,000 people, not 5. Soon, the PK time was up, and the two streamers reconnected their mics. "Go jump off the building. I'll be watching," Nancy said, a critical hit, his expression filled with eagerness. He also hadn't expected that Lin Jian's stream, with so many viewers, wouldn't receive a single penny in gifts. Suddenly, as if remembering something, Nancy added, "To everyone watching, Lin Jian jumping off the building is his personal act. The streamer is not involved in any instigation or responsibility." Although he knew Lin Jian wouldn't jump, he still made a disclaimer. What if Lin Jian was a reckless fool? If Lin Jian doesn't dare to jump, it only proves that he'd rather be a turtle bastard. Lin Jian was so angry he could have developed breast fibroids. He couldn't understand why, with so many people in his stream, not a single one sent a gift. Had he really become that infamous? Wasn't being infamous still a form of fame? Didn't they say that people would pay for a sob story? Had the era of the internet really changed? He had already sold a sob story, and such a tragic one at that. Couldn't they see it? Shouldn't they be crying and sending gifts while saying, "Ah, the streamer is so filial. It's so moving. Let's support him more"? Taking another look at the bullet comments, he instantly understood the reason. It turned out Lin Ran was on the other side. With Lin Ran's power, even if someone here sent gifts, he would undoubtedly lose. So his family was just taking emergency precautions. Thinking of this, Lin Jian squeezed out 2 drops of cat pee. So, It was my brother on the other side. No wonder everyone was afraid to send gifts. Brother, please let us go. Stop threatening our family. The bullet comments in the stream. All of them. Look at the username behind me. Wait, who threatened us? We just don't want to waste money on a monkey. You want to charge us for your performance? How shameless. Sugar lover here. I've suddenly discovered Lin Jian's shining quality, his green tea speak. His skill is top-notch. Knife lover here. I can actually understand Lin Jian. After all, they're not doing well right now. I hope they can continue to be a family. After all, this kind of kinship is rare. Keep them tied together for me. Author lover here. Yo yo yo. All this and brother that is giving me goosebumps. When you were bullying Lin Ran, why didn't you say he was your brother? Lin Jian was still spouting his green tea speak, and sure Nancy's face turned black upon hearing it. To think he used to be friends with someone like this, what brand of blind was he? Lin Jian, stop bringing up Lin Ran every chance you get. You are where you are today entirely because of your own actions. You even played the orthopedic surgery game. Tui. Disgusting. Every time he thought about his former goddess clapping with someone like Lin Jian, he felt disgusted. And what disgusted him the most was that time at the Panga Hotel. No matter how he thought about it, Luo Yao must have gone straight upstairs to find Lin Jian after leaving him. So disgusting, utterly disgusting. Damn it. Are you going to jump or not? If not, then admit you're a turtle bastard. Your son will be born without an asshole. You'll be cheated on every day for the rest of your life. Your parents and whole family will die. Your maternal grandparents will go to Africa to do hard labor, and your paternal grandparents will never rise from their graves. Seeing the situation in the live stream, Lin Ran, in the dining room of his motive villa, felt a sense of satisfaction. This sure Nancy was a bit stupid before, but at least he can see the error of his ways. The boy can be taught. Fu Bo also nodded, indicating that sure Nancy had done well this time. I was thinking of taking on Lin Jian's stream by myself, but I didn't expect a single carnival would do the trick. Fu Bo glanced at the data. Young Master Lin, due to your appearance, the value of gifts for sure Nancy's PK round reached 100,000. Although you only sent one carnival, its effect was immense. Sure Nancy should really thank you. Lin Ran shrugged. That's not necessary. It's good enough that he can admit his mistakes and change. I won't go for the kill either. After all, we were once classmates. In reality, Lin Ran had long forgotten about this character. After all, he had grown so much now. Would someone who had reached the finish line go back to laugh at someone struggling at the starting line? Lin Ran also knew that Luo Yao had called the police and had sure Nancy sent in, but that was sure Nancy's own doing. Why spread rumors for no reason? Is it making mistakes that we hate? No. What we hate are those who make mistakes and still act all high and mighty. So many people have had their careers collapse. Why can some make a comeback, while others get banned even after creating 800 alternate accounts? It depends on their character and attitude. If you admit your mistake and accept whatever punishment is given without any fuss, will netizens really hold on to it forever? Fu Bo fell silent. He felt that what Lin Ran said wasn't entirely correct. Actually, young Master Lin, you can make mistakes and no one can do anything to you. If all else fails, you can just create your own platform. Lin Ran's face darkened. He hadn't expected Fu Bo to make such a joke. You're smart. After all, my wife is Yao Yao, so I fear no difficulties. Right, wifey? How many days do you think Lin Jian can last? Seeing Lin Ran happy made Luo Yao feel comfortable too. Hey Ran, I want to ask you something. What is it? Which member of the Lin family do you hate the most? The one he hated the most? Lin Ran fell into thought. There wasn't a single member of the Lin family he didn't hate. The masterminds behind his death in his previous life were Lin Jian and Lu Yao, but was Lin Tianba not responsible? Lin Ran didn't know what it felt like to be hastily buried on a desolate mountain, because he was already dead by then. But seeing his own end, his heart turned cold. At that moment, Lin Ran truly understood his status in the Lin family. There was no kinship to speak of. It was Lu Yao and her son who did it, but it was Lin Tianba who allowed it to happen. The murderers were the wife and son, but the real culprit was the husband. Sometimes, the silent approval from behind is even more detestable than the one who commits the act. So Lin Ran's hatred for Lin Tianba was no less than his hatred for Lu Yao and her son, perhaps even surpassing his hatred for Lu Yao. In the past, I hated Lin Tianba the most. And now I don't hate anyone, because I don't have time to hate them. All my time must be saved to love you. Right now, I hate myself the most. I hate that I didn't seize the opportunity to let you have me sooner. Luo Yao was silent for a moment. Full marks on the answer. I like it. Lin Ran gently stroked Luo Yao's head. Besides, as long as I want, I can make the Lin family fall into an abyss in a matter of minutes. After all, I have you. As for me now, I'd rather watch them thrash around like jumping clowns, only to find that this world is nothing but a hell for them. As Lin Ran spoke, he took out his phone and called the bodyguard staying at the motel in Kyoto. Young Master Lin, what are your instructions? Lin Ran, Jiao Laoban, go cause some trouble for Lin Jian, but don't reveal your coordinates. Roger. Hanging up the phone, Jiao Laoban picked up a string of keys from the counter and leashed a stray dog by the door. He had been regressing these past few days, doing nothing but playing games and working out at the counter. He had finally received instructions from Lin Ran. When he arrived at the room door, Lin Jian was still inside, explaining why he wouldn't jump off the building, refusing to admit fault, and not admitting he was a turtle bastard. Everyone, the PK between streamers is just for entertainment. You don't need to care about the results. Family who like and support me can place an order in the little yellow card. The streamer's products are all carefully selected. Just as the netizens and Lin Jian were having a cordial interaction, the door lock clicked open and everyone in the Lin family looked towards the door. You guys, you're being too loud in here and disturbing my guests. Hurry up and move out. Lin Jian was puzzled. We've already paid the money. Besides, it's clearly your poor soundproofing, yet you're falsely accusing me of being too loud. You. Jiao Laoban immediately flew into a rage. With one glare, Lin Jian instantly fell silent. He still remembered how this clerk had treated him last time. Just then, Jiao Laoban let out a dirty stray dog and pointed at it, saying, "If you say one more word, I'll slaughter your dad and eat his meat." Lin Jian's face turned pale. He looked at the stray dog and instantly remembered. Woof, woof, woof. Son, save me. Lin Jian swallowed hard. Can I be a little quieter then? Jiao Laoban looked impatient. You don't have to move out, but you have to pay more. 200 a day. This price was already beyond what Lin Jian could afford, but he gritted his teeth and agreed. Jiao Laoban looked at Lin Jian's streaming equipment with a look of disdain. You're streaming? You probably don't know your own worth. Do the people in your stream know that you've acknowledged this dog in my hand as your father? As he spoke, Jiao Laoban actually led the dog straight into the room. Before Lin Jian could react, he snatched the streaming phone and pointed it at the dog. Everyone take a good look. This is the streamer's father. He admitted it himself. I have a video here, which I'll upload to the internet later for everyone to download. With a cold snort, he said, I'll be taking your father with me now. Remember to pay the extra rent. As he said this, he kicked Lin Jian, of course, in a spot where the camera couldn't see. Lin Jian let out a painful scream, and fell to the ground. Jiao Laoban's kick was very precise, targeting Lin Jian's joint. It was extremely painful and would instantly immobilize him, but it wouldn't constitute an injury. And Lin Jian didn't dare to call the cops, since there was nowhere else for him to stay. I swing my blade downward. Boss, don't go. Why did you take Lin Tianba with you? Show him to us again. And give us your address first. The internet is full of family, so this doggy is Lin Tianba no. 2. He's so cute. How is Lin Jian worthy of being his son? It's an insult to dogs. I object. Who agrees? Goddess Luo descends on Lin. The Lin family manages to lower my expectations time and time again. I'm impressed. Why do I always find disgusting things about them? Yet I can't help but want to see how miserable they are. Who will manage the entertainment industry? Why do I feel like something is wrong with Lin Tianba? Look, he hasn't said a word since the stream started, and there's no expression on his face, like a walking corpse. Also, your ID is interesting, person above. Lin Ran fell in love with me. He's just in despair. A tycoon who is worth billions suddenly becomes a pauper and suffers such a severe injury. If it were you, you wouldn't be able to take it either. Good thing we're poor. We can't get any poorer. Lin Jian was too ashamed to continue streaming and just ended it. This left Nancy on the other side completely stunned. At this moment, a bullet comment scrolled by. My master is Luo Yao. Nancy, keep up the good work. Our past grievances are now settled. If you run into difficulties, go to Nuanyo and find old Wu. We're all classmates. No need to be embarrassed. Remember, you're an entrepreneur. It's not shameful to bow your head for money. Making money is more important than face. To the netizens in the stream, if you need anything, place an order. This classmate of mine, although his IQ was a bit lacking in the past, he won't sell fake goods. Even if he did, he'd pay 10 times the price as compensation. He definitely won't open various alternate accounts to fleece you. After Lin Ran said this, he left the stream, and the netizens in the stream instantly went crazy. Name picked randomly. Don't go, young Master Lin. Please don't go. Do you think I still have a chance to get rich? There are always hotties who like to see the length of my name. Brothers, charge. This streamer's products are a great value for the price. Strongest woman Luo Yao's younger sister Luo Xian. Streamer, are you really Lin Ran's classmate? In real life, is Lin Ran the type with a big D who bullies people with his power? Seeing his orders skyrocket, sure Nancy's eyes filled with tears. I used to hate Lin Ran because he was too handsome and was my competitor for school grass. Later, I discovered he's actually a good person, easygoing, and likes to help others. As for his size, I haven't measured it at yin #%. Sure, Nancy had wanted to say Lin Ran was also his love rival, but thinking that Lin Ran and Luo Yao might both be watching the stream, he hit the brakes in time. He wasn't going to cause trouble for Lin Ran. Everyone knew Luo Yao was a madwoman. Sigh, if only he had come to this realization sooner. Perhaps he and Lin Ran could have been friends. Even if he couldn't be as successful as Wu Zhishang, having even 1/10 of his success would be great. Unfortunately, Lin Jian misled me, and Lu Rushuan misled me. Over here, Lin Ran had already asked someone to turn off the projection. Wifey, this sure Nancy is quite interesting. Maybe it's not impossible to give him a chance. Luo Yao, why do you say he's interesting? Anyone who hates the Lin family, I find interesting. Fu Bo interjected appropriately. Young Master Lin, do you know that if the netizens heard you say that, many people would be planning to assassinate the Lin family, bringing Lin Jian's head to you to become your friend? Lin Ran was taken aback. Is that really possible? Seeing Fu Bo looking a bit stunned, Lin Ran quickly explained, I mean, could it really have that effect? Fu Bo paused. You're not really thinking about it, are you? Actually, it's not that troublesome. We just need to find someone crushed by life, give them a little favor, and the Lin family will be gone. Luo Yao gave Fu Bo an icy glare, and Fu Bo immediately fell silent. Luo Yao wanted Lin Ran to be decisive, but she also didn't want him to be exposed to too much darkness. Her Lin Ran was just fine as he was now. Lin Ran also shook his head. The Lin family won't be able to jump around for much longer. I have my own ways to deal with them. Right now, I just want to love Yao Yao properly. Fu Bo felt like his teeth were about to rot from the sweetness. Inner monologue. Yo yo yo, what an act. Quick, give me an emoji to ease the cringe. When it was time to rest, the couple fell into a deep sleep. In the middle of the night, someone walked into the hospital where Jiang Feihua was staying. The most secretive transmissions are often carried out in the most traditional ways. What did you want to say by calling me here? Jiang Feihua's face was pale, and her voice trembled. I think Luo Yao knows my identity. Why do you say that? The person frowned. They deliberately tried to poison me today to kill me. Isn't that enough? The person was silent for a moment, then explained, although I don't know why this happens, you should have her search Luo Yao. Anyone who eats food she cooks will have problems. So they weren't targeting you. Anyone who ate it would have been hurt. Fearing Jiang Feihua wouldn't believe him, the person had to continue explaining. Lin Ran has been to the hospital twice because of this. That butler has also been hospitalized, as have the servants in the villa and the director and host of the variety show. Anyone who eats food that has passed through Luo Yao's hands will end up like this. It's hard to explain, but it's a fact. Jiang Feihua of course knew that the people on the variety show had collapsed after eating Luo Yao's food, but she didn't know about the others. How do you know all this? As long as one wants to know, there's nothing that can't be found out. Jiang Feihua was instantly enlightened. So, they were just using me to test for poison? The person nodded. It's not wrong to put it that way. You continue to lie low. I can't stay here too long. I'm leaving. Wait, what is it? When will you let me go? The person immediately darted in front of Jiang Feihua and grabbed her by the neck. You originally agreed to do these things willingly, so you have no right to bargain with me. Understand? Stood. The person released Jiang Feihua and quietly exited the hospital room, leaving Jiang Feihua alone, gasping for breath. Back to Lin Jian's side. After he turned off the stream, Lu Yao couldn't wait to ask, Xiao Jian, how much did you earn from the stream today? Lin Jian looked at the back end and helplessly held up a palm. 50,000, 5 cents. Only one person sent a 10-cent gift. The platform took half, and I'm left with 5 cents. Lu Yao couldn't believe it. She had clearly seen many people in Lin Jian's stream. How could the earnings be only 5 cents? She looked at Lin Jian again and instantly understood. Her son was trying to pocket the money for himself. Seeing Lu Yao's gaze, Lin Jian knew what she was thinking. I said 5 cents, and I meant 5 cents. And you, all you know is to wipe one spot with that ragged towel. Everyone could see through it. Lu Yao lowered her head. She was a little afraid of her son now. Lin Jian had been too quick to anger these past 2 days. When he was furious, he would even hit her and Lin Tianba. When did Lin Jian become like this? The thought brought tears to Lu Yume's eyes. Cry, cry, cry. That's all you know how to do. You've cried away all this family's luck. Find a client to come here in a bit. I'm leaving. Before closing the door, he turned back. Remember, at least 10,000 per session. With that, Lin Jian closed the door and left. His heart felt cold. This was all Lin Ran's fault. If not for what Lin Ran did, he definitely would have become famous today. Lin Ran, you'd better stop working against me, or I won't be so polite. Lin Jian didn't dare say that Lin Ran had crippled Lin Tianba's limbs. First, there was no evidence. Second, he was afraid of Luo Yao, so he only resorted to insinuations, guiding everyone to think of Lin Ran. If someone later accused him of slander, he could say, "Sorry, I never said Lin Ran broke Lin Tianba's limbs." Only if Lin Ran left him with no way out would he be willing to go all in and reveal the truth of the matter, letting everyone know that Lin Ran was not only devoid of kinship, but also a son who brutally beat his own father. A backstabbing son, a real piece of work. He took out his phone and checked the back end. Lin Jian was instantly stunned. The orders from the little yellow card had exploded. Lin Jian instantly went back to full health and started streaming again, unable to contain his excitement. As expected, as long as there was enough traffic and enough people, someone would eventually buy. Ha 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 ha, Jiao Laoban. Keep it down, you bastard. What the hell are you laughing at? Lin Jian immediately shut up, thinking, just you wait. Once I make money, I'll never live in this shithole again. The platform's withdrawal rule was 14 days. Lin Jian was now just waiting for the time to pass to get his commission. Even his brand partner hadn't expected this. They had taken a gamble, and the orders had blown up. The next day, the bidding this time began to turn into a war. First, Samsung had scandal. An insider revealed that Samsung's chairman, Park Bok-ji, had injured his hand when his own phone exploded. Samsung's stock plummeted. If even the boss was injured by his own product, what could ordinary consumers expect? Exploding Samsung phones were not exactly news. In the past, Samsung had managed to suppress such incidents, but for some reason, they couldn't suppress it this time. They couldn't even suppress the buzz in their home country of Korea, which made Korean consumers doubt their own country's products for the first time. To calm the storm, Park Bok-ji personally recorded a statement. My Park Bok-ji's phone absolutely did not explode. He hadn't expected that right after he released his statement, a high-level executive from within Samsung would debunk it on the spot. The chairman's hand was indeed injured by an exploding phone. We all saw it, and there are hospital admission records. With this, Samsung's already falling stock plunged to a historic low. A very small point can often lead to very serious consequences. To save the market, Samsung could only continue to invest large sums of money to stabilize the stock price. Of course, Luo Yao had already shorted Samsung stock in advance and had reaped a handsome profit from it. It could be said that a portion of Luo Yao's bidding funds this time came from Samsung. Samsung had already spent a large amount of capital due to the stock market attack, and with this latest negative news, they were already severely wounded. What was more terrifying was that Samsung had also signed a cooperation agreement with the three major families of Modu, China, which would require a large amount of funding later on. Someone suggested targeting the Luo Group, but this was immediately rejected. Because the Luo Group's main entity was not publicly listed, only some of its subsidiaries were. Even if they were attacked, it wouldn't cause them any serious damage. Moreover, Samsung could no longer afford to spend more money to attack others. It was at this time that the three major families contacted Park Bok-ji, who was visiting Modu. Chairman Park, we express our sympathy for your misfortune, but shouldn't the bidding fund for the tech city be arriving soon? In their cooperation this time, Samsung was contributing the most money, so the three major families were naturally pressing them. Cold sweat beaded on Park Bok-ji's forehead. He knew Samsung's current situation best. Rest assured, Samsung may lack other things, but we have money. The funds will definitely arrive within 24 hours. If he pulled out at this time, he would have to pay a large amount in breach of contract fees. Even without the penalty, he couldn't pull out because he understood the importance of this project. It was not just about making money. It was Samsung's chance to re-enter the Chinese market. He couldn't give it up. Thus, he began to use his authority to liquidate assets, determined to scrape together these funds for Samsung no matter what. All the executives back in Korea opposed it, but it was useless. In the end, they could only send someone to China to persuade Park Bok-ji in person. This person was Park Bok-ji's son, the man most likely to take over Samsung. Park Bok-ji. At the same time, another mother-son dragon and phoenix pair from Samsung, Chun Buhou and her son, who had just divorced Park Bok-ji, also came to Modu. Thus, the entire Park family, Chion Iwemsang's side, had all arrived in Modu. When Luo Yao learned this news, she smiled. Heaven has a path, but you do not take it. Hell has no doors, yet you burst right in. Time to wipe them all out in one go. Returning our focus to the manor, Luo Yao had also entered a period of intense work, with Lin Ran still keeping her company. Yao, sometimes I feel like I'm an escort you ordered. Luo Yao didn't mind this statement, but Lu Ming, standing beside them, had a dark expression. Young Master Lin, what on earth are you saying? Is that so? Then what's your price? I'll book you for life. All it takes is one Luo Yao to book me out. Good deal, right? It's a deal. I like a straightforward escort like you. Lu Ming's heart was trembling. What kind of escort required one Luo Yao as payment? If Luo Yao said the word, the line of men pursuing her would stretch from here to France. Even knowing that Luo Yao had a flawed personality and an extremely strong possessive desire, those men would still rush forward. After all, Luo Yao was rich and stunningly beautiful. And in this society, everyone was lacking love. The assistant team delivered a document, which Lu Ming took and passed to Luo Yao. President Luo, this document needs your signature. We can then transfer all the funds to the corporate account for the official verification. Luo Yao nodded and signed the document. With that, the Tech City bidding officials notified all participating companies that the Luo Group had passed the fund verification and the account was temporarily frozen and held. If the bid failed, the funds would be returned. No one had expected the Luo Group to be the first to pass the fund verification. The number one conglomerate on paper truly had terrifying strength. Even the three major families, who had previously thought Luo Yao's numbers were just impressive on paper and that she wouldn't be able to produce that much capital when it came time to pay, now felt they had underestimated her. They had a clearer understanding of the Luo Group's assets. After all, passing the fund verification meant having at least several $100 billion in the corporate account. This wasn't just an estimated value. After this was done, Luo Yao had her assistant team prepare and submit a supplementary proposal. The rest was just waiting for the official results. Of course, they couldn't just do nothing. At the very least, they had to stir up trouble. The reason they completed the above work at top speed was precisely to free up time to cause even bigger trouble, making the three major families and Samsung utterly overwhelmed. As for the South China Chamber of Commerce, there was no need to worry too much. After all, the South China Chamber of Commerce had too many companies. With more people came more disagreements, and a divided team was the easiest to deal with. Luo Yao believed that even if she didn't act, the South China Chamber of Commerce would have problems sooner or later. It was the same for the three major families. How can one allow others to snore beside one's own bed? Lu Ming, it's been a long time since I've tested your abilities. Do you know what the three major families' biggest strengths are? I do. The Lu family mainly relies on trade and connections. The Li family mainly relies on the entertainment industry and new technology. As for the Wang family, it's a bit miscellaneous, but their main assets are real estate, shopping malls, and the Wandang Film Company. Lu Ming answered fluently, knowing the three families' industries like the back of her hand. Luo Yao nodded. Very good. Now, I'll give you 48 hours. Are you capable of bringing their core industries to a complete halt? Lu Ming was taken aback. She didn't dare to agree because she wasn't confident. President Luo, not confident or not possible. I'm not confident. What if I add this? As she spoke, Luo Yao handed a USB drive to Lu Ming. It contained all the information on the three major families that her team had obtained through hacking 2 days ago. President Luo, you're giving these to me? Lu Ming was incredulous. She knew the value of what was on this drive. If she gave it to the three major families, she, Lu Ming, could gain benefits that she couldn't earn even after working for the Luo Group for several lifetimes. I believe my assistant will not disappoint me, just as you once believed that I could lead the Luo Group to its peak. Lu Ming was so moved, she almost cried. After so many years, she had finally earned Luo Yao's trust. She would not disappoint Luo Yao, no matter what. Just as she was about to speak, Luo Yao's even colder voice came through. After all, you know very well what happens to those who betray me. I believe you wouldn't dare to do that. Lu Ming immediately swallowed the moved words she was about to say. President Luo, I will definitely complete the mission and live up to the trust you have placed in me. I just want to ask, in our confrontation with the three major families this time, how far can I go? What is your bottom line? A strange arc formed on Luo Yao's lips, so creepy that even Lin Ran felt a chill. There is no bottom line. I want them to either completely submit or be annihilated. Lu Ming was silent for a long time. She hadn't expected Luo Yao to have already decided to completely crush the three major families. This was no different from total annihilation. Either you submit, not just in a simple business partnership, but by completely becoming a subsidiary of my Luo Group, or you wait to be destroyed. The cruelty of this business war might be no less than that of a real war. Let me give you a hint. For the Lu family, we'll decide based on their attitude. The Wang family can be given a way out, but the Li family must die. I understand. Lu Ming mourned for the Li family. On Luo Yao's death list, only the Li family's fate was sealed. It made sense. Given what the Li family had done, no Chinese person would let them survive. She understood that even if she failed to complete the task Luo Yao had given her, Luo Yao certainly had a follow-up plan. Is it because of what the Li family did? Lu Ming couldn't help but ask. Luo Yao shook her head. Because the Li family is the core of their cooperation. The core of the cooperation? Shouldn't it be the Lu family? Luo Yao didn't speak, letting Lu Ming think for herself. Soon, Lu Ming had a realization. The division of labor in the 3-3 alliance became clear in her mind. Samsung provided money and technology in exchange for entry. The Wang family was responsible for infrastructure, the Lu family for connections and coordination, while the true core of the tech city was its high-tech projects, something only the Li family and Samsung excelled at. But Samsung was, after all, a foreign company. In other words, the true core in China was the Li family. After Lu Ming returned to the assistant team, Luo Yao's demeanor returned to its gentle state. Ran, did my performance just now scare you? Lin Ran shook his head. My wife is so cute. How could you possibly scare me? There aren't many times you can scare me. Such as? Well, have I scared you? For example, you scared me when I was blind in the past. Lin Ran was referring to the days when he ran and she chased, where many of Luo Yao's actions were indeed quite frightening. So, for all the family members who want to yander a wife/husband, you must first have the ability to handle pressure, not just physically, but also psychologically. And you must be tough and able to reject all other temptations from the opposite sex. For a yandera, you can only be enjoyed by them. Once you show any sign of betrayal, a yandera might really keep you, to preserve you. Keep you forever. At first, I was quite afraid of you. The way you were so crazy for me back then, even now, when I think about it, my heart aches to death. As he said this, Lin Ran's heart genuinely felt a pang of pain. Luo Yao quickly covered Lin Ran's mouth. Ran just hadn't come back to me yet. It's not that he didn't really love me. I know that. Are you still scared now? Have I scared you recently? Lin Ran fell silent. Scared? In his previous life, it was when Luo Yao died with him after his own death. That was also the moment Lin Ran truly fell in love with Luo Yao. Lin Ran was terrified at that time, but as a soul, he was helpless. Even now, thinking of that bone-chilling, brain-freezing feeling, Lin Ran shuddered. He even dreamed about it sometimes. It wasn't something that time could erase. Just like a child who has been bullied, they can never forget it even after growing up. As for this life, the time that scared him the most was when Luo Yao was on the verge of death. That feeling was even more desperate than in his previous life. However, none of this fear was because of what Luo Yao did to him, but because he was afraid of Luo Yao getting hurt. The most frightening time was when you were injured by Luo Yao. At that time, I thought you were really going to die. I admit, I have never been so panicked. If you were really gone, I think. Perhaps I could have bravely followed you too. Luo Yao looked at Lin Ran with wide eyes. Hey Ran, sure, I know what you want to say, but you have to remember, you are my treasure. Do you remember what you said to the Chun family that time? You said, to this world, Iran might be a problem, but to me, he is the whole world. Actually, you are my whole world too. The way you were so crazy for me in the past, thinking about it now, it's actually quite cute. It's just that I was blind. Luo Yao slid directly into Lin Ran's arms, adding an ellipsis to this chapter of their relationship. Relatives are always the chasm that obstructs true love. Meanwhile, Lu Ming began her mission. Luo Yao had given her this task to test and develop her abilities. Lu Ming was very capable, but whether she could handle major events would be determined this time. As for failure, it was not an option. Luo Yao had a backup plan. If Lu Ming couldn't handle it, she would personally take over. But Lu Ming would also lose the chance to undergo a complete transformation, a fact that even Lu Ming herself was aware of. At this moment, inside the palace-like main hall of the Lu family manor, Lu Youqi had invited the heads of the Li and Wang families as guests. They drank tea and chatted leisurely, displaying the grace of the upper class in perfect harmony. Without those two, Luo Yao and Lin Ran, The whole world seems so much quieter, Li Chifeng said with insincere flattery. Patriarch Lu is right. Including Chairman Park, although his Samsung has more assets than us, it's still a small country enterprise, so petty. It was right not to invite him for tea this time. They said this, but in their hearts, they knew very well that Samsung was only respectful because it needed their help to enter the Chinese market. In the international market, one Samsung was more than enough to crush all three of their families. In fact, this was the main reason they were here today. They were getting anxious after learning that Luo Yao had already prepared the money and follow-up plans. But Samsung's funds had yet to arrive. Bored of waiting, they were preparing to cause some trouble for Luo Yao elsewhere. Lu Yao personally poured tea and said, Luo Yao is really formidable. To be able to short Samsung stock while preparing for the bid, even our three families combined might not be able to do that, even with sufficient funds. Wang Xiaolin sighed, thinking why Luo Yao wasn't a daughter of the Wang family. Indeed, Luo Yao's strength is undeniable. No matter how we unite, we must acknowledge her formidable power. Lu Yao appeared refined in front of outsiders, but within the Lu family, he was a volatile patriarch with violent tendencies. First, let's leak some dirt on the Luo Group to discuss that damn girl. Then we'll wait for Chairman Park's funds. If Chairman Park hasn't transferred the money by the agreed time, then we'll cover the amount and have a complete falling out with him. Samsung was currently being shorted by Luo Yao, and no one could guarantee if their funds would have problems. They indeed needed to consider a backup plan. At this point, Li Chifeng became a bit puzzled. We still need Samsung's technology. If they're out, it won't be easy to find a similar partner. And the funding gap left by Samsung is not a small amount. Will it be too much pressure for the three of us to cover it? Wang Xiaolin also nodded in agreement. If they had to cover the cooperation funds, he would be in the most difficult position because the Wandang Group's funds were already insufficient. Lu Yao showed a confident smile. This was why he looked down on Li Chifeng. I didn't say we wouldn't cooperate, just that we would have a falling out. Although Li Chifeng was not young, he was still a junior in front of Lu Yao. Wang Xiaolin took a light sip of tea, the rich aroma refreshing his senses. Patriarch Lu means he wants Samsung to concede more benefits? Li Chifeng realized that among the three major families, he seemed to have the least cunning. Even Wang Xiaolin appeared very steady. In recent years, the Wang family's businesses had shrunk, and Wang Xiaolin had faced difficulties from all sides, yet he still gave off a sense of being as steady as Mount Tai. To have come this far was not something an ordinary person could achieve. If it were anyone else, they might have already been sacrificed by now. This was what made Wang Xiaolin formidable. Thinking of this, Li Chifeng felt even more resentful. These were all superficial. In reality, he was the true king. What if Samsung is unwilling? Lu Yao's eyes gradually turned cold. If he's really that unappreciative, I naturally have a countermeasure. You know LG, right? They've been unhappy with Samsung for a long time. Wang Xiaolin cupped his hands in praise. Patriarch Lu is indeed far-sighted. Lu Yao waved his hand in response. Ha ha! Patriarch Wang is too kind. Seeing the two of them acting like soulmates while he was the third wheel, Li Chifeng's anger flared. Old Wang, that son of yours is always spouting nonsense. I advise you to control him, or one day he'll really cause trouble for you. Wang Xiaolin said helplessly, I can't do anything about it. I can't control this kid at all. If he's happy, he'll say a few words to me. If he's not, he'll just turn and leave. What can I do? Seeing Wang Xiaolin's perfunctory attitude, Li Chifeng felt even more displeased. But he couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't keep complaining to Wang Xiaolin just because his son said a few unpleasant things, could he? Moreover, the Li family's entertainment industry and Wang Xiaolin's Wandang Cinema were strategic partners. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's discuss how to deal with Luo Yao. After all, there isn't much dirt on the Luo Group. Lu Yao / Wang Xiaolin. You were the one who brought it up, and now you're the one who doesn't want to talk about it. What on earth do you want? Lu Yao toyed with the teacup in his hand with a playful expression. Whether there's dirt or not is unimportant. Even if the dirt is fake, it doesn't matter. What's important is that it exists. We just need to tie up some of Luo Yao's energy. For example, right now I could have someone say that Luo Yao and Lin Ran are siblings, or even that Lin Ran has had a sex change. Even though we know this news is fake, what do you think people will think? What will they do? Li Chifeng's eyes narrowed. They will. Just then, this is bad, patriarch. A servant of about 30 years old ran in. If Luo Yao were here, she would definitely recognize this servant's true identity. What are you panicking about? Don't you know I have important guests here? Lu Youqi's usual refined and amiable demeanor was gone, replaced by the authority of a patriarch. One must have different auras in front of different people. I'm sorry, patriarch. Lu Youqi looked at his servant with a look of disappointment. It's been a great deal of money to hire this person. Servant was just his cover. His real identity was Lu Youqi's bodyguard in the Lu Manor. After all, for a major family, there were bound to be many people with ill intentions, so it was necessary to have some protection. Whatever it is, say it slowly. Don't lose the composure of our Lu family. At this point, the servant could only report slowly. Our port has been shut down. Lu Youqi was shocked. What? Why didn't you say so earlier? When did this happen, and what's the situation now? The person reporting had a questioning look. Weren't you the one who said to be composed? Why are you unhappy now that I've followed your instructions? It was you who said to have the Lu family's composure and to say things slowly. The person enunciated each word clearly, speaking slowly with a drawn-out tone. You bastard. Forget it, forget it. Just tell me the situation now, quickly. Following Lu Youqi's command, his speech quickened. It's like this. Half an hour ago, officials came for a surprise inspection. We thought it would be over quickly, but half an hour later, they notified us that our port can no longer operate because they found smuggled goods. Everything needs to be inspected. Lu Youqi's face was grim. He knew there were smuggled goods at the Lu family's port. After all, some goods had no profit margin if taxes were paid. This was a normal phenomenon in the entire trade industry. Why were they suddenly making trouble for him? Making such a big fuss would affect more than just the port. Ships outside couldn't get in and would have to wait in the sea. If they had to use other ports, they would have to pay a large daily fee. The goods inside couldn't get out either. A shutdown of a few hours was fine, but what if it was 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? Failure to deliver on time would result in not just a hefty penalty, but also a lot of trouble. Just as Lu Youqi was thinking of a countermeasure, Wang Xiaolin also received a call. Chairman, this is bad. A batch of counterfeit products has appeared in our shopping malls. Our technical department went to check and confirmed they are undoubtedly counterfeit. What should we do? What? Wang Xiaolin was stunned. Their Wandang Plaza had always been known for its high-end reputation. All resident merchants signed contracts, and the products in the plaza were regularly checked. How could counterfeit goods still appear? And with conclusive evidence, even their own quality inspection department admitted it. Just then, the person on the phone stammered, what else haven't you said? Spit it out. He wasn't going to pretend to be composed like Lu Youqi. The Luo Group's official account has reported that our cinema chain is involved in tax evasion and box office fraud. Boom. Wang Xiaolin's head exploded. Besides Wandang Plaza and Wandang Real Estate, the most important core project of the Wandang Group was Wandang Films. It had been the most resilient industry over the years. Box office fraud had always been a basic operation, so why was it suddenly being brought up? And it even involved tax evasion? Could it be that all of this was? Li Qifan looked at the grim faces of the two patriarchs, finding it amusing for no reason, but also faintly worried. He waited and waited, but no news about his own company came. He smiled. This was clearly Luo Yao's doing. Why hadn't she dealt with him? Luo Yao must have her considerations. If he just sabotaged the cooperation of the 3 major families, wouldn't that mean he was on the same side as in Luo Yao? Then he could cooperate with the Luo Group on a few projects, giving them more profit. As long as their interests were tied, Luo Yao would naturally be in the same boat as him, and the madwoman would have no reason to expose him. Patriarchs, this is clearly Luo Yao's handiwork. You should deal with the current matters first. I'll take my leave. With that, Li Qifan left the Lu Manor. Wang Xiaolin and Lu Youqi exchanged a look. That guy, why wasn't he targeted? Yeah, we're in a 4-way cooperation. Samsung got shorted, and we've had problems today. Why is he still fine? The two patriarchs looked at each other, and both saw something different in the other's eyes. They moved at top speed to do crisis management. But could things be resolved so easily? This was just the appetizer. In the Manor Villa in Modu, Luo Yao looked at the report from Lu Ming without saying anything or giving any advice. Her meaning was clear. This matter was all up to you. Lu Ming was just making a routine report. Lin Ran knew that the Lu family would end up miserable. The Li family would be fine for now, but would face a super disaster later. And as for the Wang family, one could only say that their son was the true rebellious son. He was about to become a teacher. Ran, what are you thinking about? Lin Ran. I'm thinking about what kind of extraordinary woman could single-handedly fight the entire capital market. A closer look, and it turns out to be my fairy wife. Glib tongue, but I like it. Lin Ran's glib tongue was precisely one of the spiritual foods Luo Yao needed most. Lin Ran didn't think he was being glib-tongued. It's my most genuine expression, yet you say I'm glib-tongued? I'm angry now. Of course, he was pretending to be angry, just playing around with Luo Yao. All right, my A Ran is the most genuine. He's not glib-tongued at all. I misunderstood you. Lu Ming, listening on the side, was about to suffocate. President Luo, you're really spoiling him. Just then, Jiang Feihua walked over. After a follow-up check at the hospital confirmed she was fine, she had returned to the manor. Young Master Lin, Miss, there's a woman outside named Chion Eum Sang with a man named Park Gukchong asking to see you. They are the ex-wife and son of Samsung's chairman, Park Bok Gi. Lin Ran and Luo Yao exchange a look. What are they here for? Surely not to apologize. Luo Yao's eyes narrowed. They might also be here to have a friendly exchange with humanity's friends. Lin Ran's face darkened. He thought Luo Yao was being a bit too black-bellied. How could anyone like that sort of thing? However, he still admired the mother and son's courage. Have them kneel outside the villa. I'll see them after they've kneeled for a full hour. Luo Yao gave the order. Understood. The frequency of vibrations in Jiang Feihua's heart was no less than that of a V-12 engine. The ex-wife and son of the head of the mighty Samsung had to kneel and wait to see Luo Yao. After Jiang Feihua left, Lin Ran felt a bit strange. They might be coming with dangerous intentions. We'd better be prepared, Luo Yao said coldly. No need to worry. They pose no threat to us. She had absolute confidence. Whether in terms of methods or strength, she was not afraid at all. And if it came to compatibility, then sorry, she was the strongest in the whole show. Soon, Chion Sang and her son were kneeling outside the villa.